9 cycles have passed. When the gods deem mortals too powerful, they decree a race between their avatar and the mortals to determine their worth. In the race, the mortals are granted a chance to engage the very gods themselves. The mortals are granted a chance of survival. The mortals are granted a chance to become gods. Lose and see all mortal life removed from the Kryn, and the next cycle begins. This race is the final command of the gods to their mortal counterparts. This is their dying order.
Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. Do you know the best thing about this group right here is that they're always in the right place, and I always forget where you are in your positions, and yet you all put yourselves in the right place every week, and it's my favorite thing by a huge amount. It's a weird thing to be the favorite thing, but it is my favorite thing, and I appreciate you for it because my brain doesn't work. Welcome to the beginning of this stream. It's Tablestory's Dying Order, featuring me and these guys. Last week, they were in the middle of a fight at the, they were at the beginning of a fight when we ended the session. So we're going to jump straight in. I'm going to remind you guys a little bit of what happened. You ended up leaving the door that was Ellie's door with the death kind of domain beyond it. You escaped, even though you were in this kind of place that Ellie figured out was not really necessarily Merkel's domain anymore, and was in fact just kind of a space between boundaries, not really a plane that existed anywhere. It was just a place between. As you were leaving, there were lots of symbol creatures, the things that Ahi keeps sending after you, was chasing you. At one point, there was a hound that appeared and helped you guys out. That ended up being Suna's new kind of shadow companion. Ellie figured out that there is no door that can stop her to a degree, and you managed to break through. You got back to your boundary. You were gearing up to go through Bo's door when Buns ended up flying through the other door. It was Aura's door. And so Aura chased after Buns, you guys chased after Aura, and you ended up instead in a different place. You went into this kind of room that had a bunch of different coloured walls and some scrolls. Buns was in there and fine. You picked up the scrolls and you figured out that this puzzle was to do with different seasons. And once you worked out what that puzzle was, you were each immediately whisked up into the air. We have some fan art that shows you what that looks like by Lucifer. It's awesome. There it is on the screen. Of you guys being whisked into the sky, much like Aura was at the beginning of the campaign.
There's a wallpaper version in our Discord.
Yes.
By the way.
You can get on the Discord. You can, I think we retweeted it on Twitter, but we should. And
I'll do it right now.
Do it. And there's you can see the Twitter @ on the screen, Lucifer, spelled LOOH, something, other letters. I can't read what it says because my OBS is too small. So sorry, audio listeners, I will link it in the things. Anyway, you guys were whisked up into the air. All of a sudden, there was a voice that spoke to you, a booming, loud voice. Oh.
There's one from Jack, too.
Yeah, Jack Black did one, too.
Oh,
Holy
my.
shit.
Really awesome.
All right, hold on. I'm going to load that one up, too.
Yeah, do you see it?
Nope,
or do you need it?
but I'm going to load it up.
Okay.
I can find it. I'm guessing it's in the fan art on the Discord.
I don't think it is. It might be, but it was
it is.
Just send me it.
tweeted. Yeah,
It
it
is?
was
All right. So I'll load that up. You guys were whisked into the air by a creature that was known as Shondakol, which is a god of wind and force. The creature kind of revealed itself to have been a mount in a past cycle to a greater god, and that was they were going to be bringing you to the different areas that are available to you guys here. He mentioned that he was going to drop you off at Spring, and took you to this kind of, wow, that is cool. Let me load it up for everyone to see.
They look like they go together. It's so, I mean, they're doing the same scene almost, I think.
Yeah. Here we go. Now this one is by Jack Lack, our resident drawing bard that we still don't know what that word is.
Yeah, I guess just the artist or painter. Or...
A drawing bard shall be what it shall be. Wow, that's so much bigger than I thought it was going to be, everyone. There you go. That is it. Let me try and get it on the screen nicely. There we go. That's going to have to do. Now this is Jack Lack's art of the same thing.
So cool.
Very cool. And the fan art for this one is in the Discord as well. Now I think you're Jack Lack, Jaclacc. No, Jack Lack. Never mind. Jack
it is. The Twitter is JACKLAC5, and then Lucifer's is LEOOHCIFER.
Bing. There you go. Awesome. Yeah, there it is on the screen. Each of you being whisked up by this creature that resembled a kind of giant goose, which really upset Bo, and had like a glowing heart, much like a robin, which I'm sure that you've never seen before in this campaign. Dropped you off at this location that was kind of just a muddied land. No flora, no fauna really, just kind of mud and huge lakes and oceans. He dropped you off and said to defend the sapling, and then flew away and said he would come back when the sapling grew. As you guys were dropped off, you found this sapling. It also had a little fuchsia plant next to it growing kind of out of the sapling. And that's when these creatures that Aura recognized as Briar children were coming after you. Small little thorny creatures, no bigger than a closed fist, odd looking, and mostly kind of known as a pest in Alexandria, at least. Small little fey creatures. However, here they had an almost murderous intent to come after the sapling, and you were each essentially tasked with keeping the sapling alive. And we're going to jump back in where we left off. Thanks for the art, but I need a map. There it is. So, we did one round of combat. You each kind of got into some stuff. Now, if my memory serves correctly, the four of you chose to take on a pair of these things each. There were 4 pairs of these things. Aura mentioned that they work in pairs and they're a lot stronger when they're able to cast magic, but only in the pairs. Suna said that you should each take a pair to deal with each. The 2 that came after Suna cast a very similar spell to the one that Aura uses, with all the thorns coming up underneath her, but she didn't get caught up in them. She did a kind of huge, great lightning bolt, which badly damaged the 2 that were coming for her. I need to rejoin as a player, and the 2 that Ellie was dropped in the water. She landed in a kind of small lake, little tiny pond. I don't know, it was deep but small looking kind of body of water, and she began to attack the 2 that were on the other side of her. She was lifted up into the air by Suna, and she began firing eldritch blasts towards the creatures. Bo took on these 2 down here, Can't remember what you did. I think you were casting bardic inspirations on people. And do they have any damage? Yes, you did some damage, but I can't remember what you cast. Ray of Frost, I think, maybe.
The one.
Yes. And then Aura cast an entangle spell of her own. Vines and twisting things, lifting up out of the ground, trying to wrap around the feet of these little briar children, slowing them down because it makes the area difficult terrain. Then we came to the top of the round. These creatures seem to be aiming for the sapling in the center. We know that the sapling only has 15 HP mechanically, but they do seem to be distracted by you when you're attacking them. They seem to be kind of split on whether they should attack you or the sapling while they're under attack. And at the top of the round, starting us off, is young Sauna. What do you want to do?
Well, first thing, I think we see Ellie will now start floating down to the ground. And I cast Slow on all 6 of these briar children.
Slow.
Yes.
Should really just commit this to memory, but let's find out.
Would you like me to read it?
Yeah, or ding it in the chat as well.
Sure, I'll do both. You alter time around up to 6 creatures of your choice in a 40-foot cube within range. Each target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be affected by the spell for the duration.
All right, I'm going to go clockwise, and I'm going to roll them while you speak.
Right. An affected target's speed is halved. It takes a -2 penalty to armor class and dexterity saving throws, and it cannot use reactions. On its turn, it can either use an action or a bonus action, but not both. And then there's some more bullshit. Regardless of the creature's abilities or magic items, it cannot make more than 1 melee or ranged attack during its turn. If the creature attempts to cast a spell with a casting time of 1 action, you must roll a d20. On an 11 or higher, the spell doesn't take effect until the creature's next turn, and the creature must use its action on that turn to complete the spell. If it cannot, the spell is wasted. A creature affected by this spell can make another wisdom saving throw at the end of its next turn. On a successful save, the effect ends for it.
I have a feeling they all failed. What's the spell save?
17.
Yep. Also
Great.
17? What the?
That is correct.
All right. Nothing's ever going to beat your spell save ever again.
Never again.
All failed. All slowed.
Wonderful.
Ridiculous. Yeah, these things are running forward, clicking in that kind of strange briar click speech pattern that they use. These very small little creatures running, trying to get through these thorns that Aura brings up, trying to begin to cast a spell on Bo, pointing and clicking towards where Ellie is, and recovering from the lightning strike from Sauna, when suddenly all of them slow down in their movements. They become a little disoriented, looking around for what has caused this thing to happen to them, aware that they've been slowed, now affected by the thing. Each of them -2 to their AC, and slowed down with all of the things that they now can't do. So, Sauna the demigod, that's your action.
Right, and then for my bonus action, I summon Toby,
Okay.
my hound.
Yeah. Let's see. Where do you want him? You should have control over this token, actually. Do you want to check?
Sure. Yep, I do. All right. I would like to, let me just double check. 120 feet. All right. Well, now we're talking. Where's Bo? All right, there we go. All right, I summon him right next to Bo. Well, right next to this briar child beside Bo to help.
Nice, Toki.
He is not growling at you, Bo. He's growling at this briar child.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How does he appear?
He will. How?
Yeah. It's
Like,
not there, but yeah, what?
Yeah, I like to think that he comes up from the ground, billowing smoke, and then it kind of forms. And then you maybe hear him growling and snarling first before you see him.
Nice.
And he can attack, I suppose. Let me just look. I don't know when his turn hops in here. I
Roll
don't know how that works.
initiative for it, I think.
Ah, all right.
So we can do that.
Oh, I should have clicked the token first, huh?
It's okay. I did
Holy
it.
shit, Toby.
19. Nice. All right.
Nice.
Toby
All
has his
right.
own turn.
Right, okay.
And then do you want to
So-
move at all?
I do not move, but I was gifted an accelerate, so I have a second turn.
Oh, yes.
Um,
Yeah, you do.
Right. So I would like to move actually, and I know it's going to hurt me, but I'm going to do it anyway.
No, this is slightly different to Aura's spell. It's just difficult
okay.
terrain, so you have half movement.
Oh, wonderful. So
While you're
I
in that
will.
area.
Right. I will. Then I will move here, and then at the start of my next turn, when I'm out of it, I will go ahead and move. Let's do the math here properly. Yep. So all the way here. Can I move my square? There we go. So I move all the way up here. Also, which of this is Toby's target, which is important. This Briar Child that he's right next to. I think he disappears when it dies.
Okay.
All right, I move over here, and then I will use a lightning lure. I cast another spell on this Briar Child right here,
Okay.
right in front of me. Let me see, where the hell is my sheet?
Strength save coming in. Wow, this is going to be really good. Wow, it is really good.
It is
considering
really
they
good.
have a 6 strength.
Wow. Still
rolled a
doesn't
19.
beat my. Still doesn't beat my spell 17. So
Does
it'll
not.
come
So
towards
still
me, I think.
pulled 10 feet
Yep,
towards
10
you.
feet towards me, separating the two of them. Yep,
There.
there we go.
And
That's
takes
right.
damage.
No, not unless it's within 5 feet of me, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. All right, and then I would like to use my bonus action to accelerate Ellie, who is next in line, giving her 2 rounds for her next turn. And then I will end my turn.
All right. God
Thank you.
2
damn.
turns, sorry.
Late game. Well, we're in mid game. Early mid game casters. Okay, so Suna does
That's a good thing.
all that stuff. Ellie, you begin slowly falling back down towards the water, I think is what happens. You're gently lowered to the water, but you don't fall out of the air all of a sudden. But you do realize that this spell that was levitating you out of the water has now ended as you begin to descend. How does that work? Does that happen instantly on levitate?
Yes, and she floats safely to the ground, or safely to wherever.
Okay.
So probably during that turn, you floated down safely, and you were probably on the ground by the time I finished.
Ground being
Water.
The water, whatever.
yeah, like
Sorry.
Which
5 feet of water.
halves my movement speed, right?
While you're in the water, it's difficult terrain. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I can move to the bank, I guess.
Yep. You can just about get out of the bank. Kind of
Yeah,
swimming along.
I'm gonna move to the bank first. Okay. So the way accelerate works is an extra action.
Yes.
You get an extra. Yes.
Okay.
That's basically it.
Thinking of what I do. I think I'm gonna first cast Hex on the guy that I hit over here.
Yeah.
Right about there. I'm gonna cast Hex on him, or it, and then I'm going to. I think I'm gonna hit with Eldritch Blast, and then go into stealth, so that way I can begin the turn that way next time.
All right.
so-
Now, Hex, I think you have to do some funky stuff. Then you have to pick a thing.
Yeah. What? Well, let me put it. Let me see if I can put it.
Post it, 'cause I can never find this spell.
Go to my spells. How do I place it like that?
You should
not do
just
it.
be able to click the writing. Red writing. Like it will highlight
Okay.
red.
Yeah. Okay. Cast at level 2, right? And
I was
then
trying to cast it. Yeah, oh, there we go.
there you
All
go.
right.
It's a concentration up to an hour.
Okay.
It's actually a bonus action, so that's
Yeah,
what it
so you
says.
still have 2 actions.
Can I use it as an action or no?
No.
Okay.
It just is what it is. You can undo if you want to keep your bonus action and not do this.
No. I can stealth on an action though, right?
Yes.
Okay. It places a curse on a creature within range, and until the spell ends, you deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage to the target that you hit with an attack. Also, choose one ability when you cast the spell. The target has disadvantage on ability checks made with chosen ability. If the target drops to 0 hit points before this spell ends, you can use a bonus action on a subsequent turn of yours to curse a new creature.
Huh.
Remove curse cast on the target ends the spell early.
All right. Okay. So you have to pick Strength, Dex, Con, in Wiz, or Charisma for it to be to have disadvantage on ability checks with.
I'm gonna choose strength.
Okay.
And then I don't think that was well, whatever.
First action, Eldritch Blast.
Wait, I'm thinking about that.
Okay.
It's probably too late to take it back, isn't it? I didn't think about that. What were it was... Sorry. I'm tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep.
It's okay. You're
So I
only
have to
saying
choose-
half
so the
sentences as
saving-
well.
I know. I'm thinking in my head, so
Yeah.
I had to choose between the saving throws, right?
Well, it will affect the saving throws or any other ability checks it makes. So strength
Can I
is a
change it
decent
to
one for them
intelligence at all?
not to be caught in the thing.
No.
Int. Are you trying to make it so that they can't find you?
No, I'm trying to make it... I want to do something that would help the casters.
Wisdom is
Wisdom.
usually the
Okay.
best one. Yeah.
Okay,
So
sorry.
if they fail, no, that's all right. If they fail their wisdom, they're stuck in the slow. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah,
That's
wisdom,
sorry, I didn't know which
No,
one.
that's
Yeah,
all
that's
right.
good.
That's a
So
very-
yeah,
very
I would
smart.
choose wisdom then to keep them stuck in the slow. So
Okay.
Thank
that
you
is
for that, Ellie.
an amazing spell. So, and then I'm gonna use Eldritch Blast on the one that I targeted already that is missing health.
Yep.
And so, get 2. That's 12,
It's a hit,
and that's crit.
and that's definitely a hit. Yeah. Give me all the damage.
I'm guessing he's gonna die. So, I accidentally pressed it twice.
So, 2 blasts come out. What's the second one? Is that 10?
It's 9 and then 19.
Okay, just checking.
And then plus, if he's not dead already, plus all the extra damage, like adding my charisma modifier and all that. So,
9 and then
adding-
19. Wow, it's amazing. But,
Okay, so it's 19 plus 9 plus 12,
What's the 12
and then
for?
1d6 necrotic damage.
Where's the 12?
Adding my, oh wait, I think that's only on, okay, so it's plus 6 for the Eldritch Agonizing Blast.
That's in there.
Okay. Oh,
That's-
I keep
that's-
forgetting.
yeah,
My
yeah,
bad.
that's
I
in
keep
the thing.
I keep forgetting that.
Give me
Yeah,
the
no, that's
d6 necrotic
Yeah.
damage.
1d6. I keep forgetting I had that. 5.
That's what kills it. It had 4 HP left. What does it look
Yes.
like? This is the first one to get wiped out by this thing. What do we see?
Could you imagine if we end the fight in this round and you had canceled, you'd ended the stream in the middle of it? Anyway, that'd be fun. I'd laugh.
I think it's nothing flashy. I do think it just like explodes into like purple, a sort of purple fire of sorts.
Mm.
I don't know, an aura. But yeah,
A
then
purple fire, you say?
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
I like purple fire.
Yeah, you should
So
have been
do we.
should have been in the last campaign. This was all about purple fire. Yes. It's just all these blasts coming in. This thing is kind of trying to navigate through the thorns and stuff that Aura had produced when it turns and all of this damage comes in. All these magical blasts hit the ground where it is. It kind of does one of those anime things where it just creates a load of damage and then what's left behind is nothing. And then you actually still have another action.
I think I'm going to use this one to go into stealth so I can get advantage on my turns. So
Give
I have to roll that.
me
Hold
the
on.
stealth roll, yeah.
20.
Damn, no point in me rolling, I don't think. Okay. That's the end of your turn, which brings us to Bo. Over in the corner, there is a sort of dog, the shadowy hound thing that manifests nearby. You have seen it before. I think Suna did tell everyone that it was quote-unquote friendly.
And his name is Toby.
And it glances at you, but it immediately focuses, I think, on the small little briar child in front of you. The one that you've already hit with the frost spell, and I think is slightly slowed because of it, so it's probably still got bits of frost on him. It looks like this hound is probably going to bear down on it in a second. But what do you want to do?
Chomp. All right, let's get snappy. I start snapping my fingers away, and I start conducting a little bit of electricity in my hands, something new. And I'm holding my hands like little guns, and I start to cast Thunderwave on the two Briar children in front of me.
All right. I think Thunderwave is a thing that casts from you. Let me double check. I think it does like a... I think it's a... let's see. Yeah, so you cast it on yourself, and there's a 15-foot cube that goes out from you.
Oh,
do you see what I mean?
So?
It's kind of like a get the fuck off me move, you know?
Oh,
like it's
that's
one of
really
those.
it's like a shout. You're gonna push them back?
Right, yeah.
Yes, I do intend to push them back regardless. Is that so possible?
It will still
10
hit
feet?
them, yes, but
Okay,
it will
alright.
also hit the dog.
What if she just angles it?
What? Yeah.
You
What
can't,
if,
it's a 15-foot
No!
cube that will hit everything here. it just
everything around.
yeah, it will
Toby
just slam
God.
everything here.
Oh God.
I don't know if you know, Bo, and I trust you.
Yeah.
Up to you.
I okay. Oh God. Okay, that probably changes everything. I don't want to attack Toby. Okay. I will zip, take it back. And all the electricity comes back into my fingers.
You like begin to cast it, and then the dog appears, and
The
you.
dog
And he's got like the sad eyes, and I'm just like, ooh, okay, nope.
Control Z.
All right, I'm gonna cast Ray of Frost instead on the other one,
Okay. Yes.
and
Wow.
damage, and I can still do another roll because ice damage deals an extra 1d6.
That
Yes.
is correct. Yes. So give me all the damage.
Damn, Bo.
Nice. Yeah. So that's
15.
15 in total to the other one. It also slows the other one down. I think I just moved it by accident, but it both of them are actually slowed a little bit as well. Just so you know what the other effect of this spell does. It will reduce their movement by 10 feet, I think, for one round.
Oh, nice. Okay.
To the start of
And
your
their
next turn.
movement's already reduced, so you've done a very good thing there.
Yes. Okay. I guess I'll also just cast Bardic Inspiration on Ellie, lowering my glasses just a little bit, and giving her a little wink. There's little sparkles that come out, and I guess they go flying towards her direction, and they tap her softly, and she feels that instant buff.
You hear a thank you.
You're welcome.
Every scene that is Ellie or Bo focused is an anime, and every scene that is the other two is like whatever else you want it to be. 100%. Two different types of anime. I feel like Bo is like if we got a Master Roshi anime, and Ellie is
I don't know. I watched
basically
One Punch Man again, and there's this one guy that's always like fabulous in it and whatnot. And,
Yeah.
and there's always that like one character that's super fabulous.
That's
And I
Bo.
love it.
That's
the
Bo.
series.
And you're
Yeah.
straight out of like Tokyo Ghoul or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is, yeah, you still have movement, Bo, if you want to move.
Ooh.
I think you might see
Yeah.
Toby will look at you
Ooh.
and then look back at the Briar child.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna be a good boy and stay with Toby.
All right, Toby's turn.
Toby will attack this Briar child, and it has advantage because Bo is standing beside him.
Bo is is not standing beside him, but
Well,
I'll
I mean,
let
he's-
Bo move over, or does he have to just be close?
I think he just has to be close. Let me just check and see how many feet he has to be.
If ever I could still use my action and move just a little closer to Toby.
It's within 5 feet, so you'd have to nudge over one more
You
square.
can do that if you want, yeah. Because
So
I'm a
then
nice
I need Toby.
person.
Yeah, he will then attack.
All right, give me the attack. Yes.
25.
25 crit on the first true attack from Toby that doesn't count
Damn.
the cutscene version of Toby that we saw.
That's right.
Give me the damage.
Does it auto do it, or do I have to?
Click on the word
Yep.
attack in the thing. In the yeah.
Bless you.
8 plus 5. And it's not dead, but it has to make a strength save. Does it have disadvantage on this? No, slow doesn't. do
No,
that.
because it needs to do DC 13, or it will be knocked prone.
Oh, there we go. 15.
Yep. So it's all right then.
Right. So, let's see. So you did 13 damage,
Mhm.
and Toby probably bites at this thing. Probably does bite it, and then the thing kind of. It's not really like a person, right? It's not made of flesh. It doesn't have any blood. The teeth on Toby bite into this thing, and then lets go. And it would be like biting into like a wicker doll or something like that. As he bites into this
Chew
thing, you
toy.
can see it. Yeah, he kind of
Found a
shakes
chew
it a
toy.
little and lets it go, and it
He's
runs
doing that
around
like dog
and
thing where he's like, with his
yeah,
neck.
shaking it about, and then yeah, the creature hits the ground. It looks kind of messed up and split and torn, but it's still like, you know, for all intents and purposes, alive, moving around, and not prone. It kind of now seems to be very focused on Toby and not on the sapling, which is a good thing in a way. Does Toby do anything else?
Nope. But if it moves, then it will.
Okay. Now, all the Briar children are going to do stuff if they can. So they only have one action, is that correct? And that's it.
That is correct.
And like barely any
Their-
movement.
their
If we start
movement
with the
is
ones
half.
right here.
Yeah, which we should probably do, or we'll forget.
Well, one of these isn't moving. The other one has only. So does
Oh,
slow reduce their movement by
has
how much?
Don't forget, they have a -2 penalty on their armor class right now as
Yes,
well.
they do. You've
Right,
already
okay.
been hitting
I
because of
just
it.
wanted to make sure because I totally forgot.
Someone hit because of it.
Yeah, so it can make either an action or a bonus action, but not both. And regardless of any abilities or magical items, it cannot make more than one melee or ranged attack during its turn. And if it tries to cast a spell, it has to roll a d20. On an 11 or higher, it won't take effect till the next turn, and the entire turn must be used completing the spell.
Does
If
it reduce
cannot,
its
the spell
movement
is
by how
wasted.
much?
Half.
Half. Okay, so one of
That
them
is
is
correct.
stuck. The one here at the bottom, the furthest away, it can't move. Reduced by the frost and the slow. The one which is closest
done, Bo.
to Toby is going to claw at it with a tiny claw. On a 23,
Right.
that's going to be a hit, I assume.
Yep,
4 damage.
That's right.
So you can click on his token, and you can click in the green bubble and just type -4, and it'll do the math.
All right. All right.
The other one is
It
going.
doesn't let me select his token at all, which is super weird because, oh, never mind. I was on the wrong goddamn thing. My bad.
Okay, yeah, you should have full control over it.
Wait, I'm sorry. You said it does the math for you?
Yeah, if you
What do
click
you
on.
do?
So I'll show you on the stream if I can. No, I can't.
Yes, please, because this
you-
is new to me.
Yeah, you have to. I'll show you on Bo's token. If you're watching the stream,
Yes,
you just
I
do
am, I am.
-4 to his 61, and it does it there. And you can do +4, and it adds it back in. So you can do that on the token for Toby, and it just is so much
Shit.
easier.
That's so wonderful.
It's the best thing
Thank
ever.
you.
Roll 20. Good job. So yeah, a little nothing. Like I think probably during the time that he's biting at this thing, it just kind of reaches out and scratches at Toby. A little like nothing. A whisper of smoke probably falls from the side of his face. The other one spits a dart out from its mouth towards Bo. And that's on a 12, which I'm guessing is a miss.
Is a miss.
Is a miss.
Woo!
Oh, I clicked attack anyway because I'm dumb. Ignore that. The one which just had its partner murdered by Ellie looks, you see it click a few times, looking around for where Ellie is. Doesn't see Ellie at all, but does see Aura. However, these, if I remember, don't know that they're probably aware, but not seem to be super aware. It's going to run towards where you are, Aura, because it assumes that you killed its partner. But I think that means it takes damage on how far it moves. Now, it moved 15 feet, so that's 3 times whatever your spell does. I want to say it's a D4, but I can't remember.
Yeah, let me see how I put it. Spike.
2d4.
Growth, 2d4.
So when a creature moves
Oh,
into
this is
or
gonna
within the
hurt.
area, it takes 2d4 damage for every 5 feet, so you can roll me 6d4.
Okay. 18.
Ouch.
18 damage to this thing. So it's just running, and even though it's made of thorns, it is still being harmed by the thorns. As it's running through, you can see the thorns on these moving vines that it's jumping and avoiding are still cutting at it and breaking its kind of little wicker parts, and thorns of its own are falling off of it as it rushes towards you, wild. It's still going to attempt to scratch you. Wait, no it isn't. Actually, yes it is. You know what? It is. I don't care. Here we go. 23, I'm assuming, is a hit on Aura.
Let me double. Yeah.
A little scratch. Wow, 9 piercing damage as this thing probably just leaps off of these thorns. It's all bits of falling off of it, and it lands on you, and it doesn't really do anything other than that, but that's horrible enough because it's just a fist-sized dole of spikes that just land on your shoulder, and just that's it. It sticks to you, and it's awful, like being hit by a little thorny doll, and lots of little tiny little spikes.
I'd like to use my Hellish Rebuke.
Ooh, you may do that. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It's like that thing where like it hits me and my blood boils a little bit, and it's just a natural reaction. So I do it level 2, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh,
So it's a dex save from the creature. It's a fail,
Oh.
barely. So you deal, what is that, 15 damage to it. Doesn't kill it, but fucks it up. What does it look like? Do you just immolate? Like, because it's on you, right?
Yeah. Essentially, this time around, my veins turn that like lava kind of color, and then I burst into flames, and he also then, I fade back to myself, but he's just on fire on me.
Yeah, and he very much is on fire. The little thing is clicking and screeching in your ear right next to you, the fire burning it but not burning you, as, yeah, it's pretty messed up.
got that like screaming wood when there's a bug or something in it, and it's just like, sorry.
That's exactly the noise, yes. Clip it, and we will use it for the noise of all creatures that take damage from now on the show. The other two, which were originally the ones that Aura was aiming for, are going to run towards the sapling. Now they're going to take damage as well. They can only move 10 feet. And that was the mistake I made last turn, but whoopsie,
Yep.
It happened. So they can only move to here. Then that's it. That's all they can do, because they can't... Wait, they can. They can do an action, right? They've got movement and
Yes.
action still, so they get one action. Okay, here's what they're going to do. They're going to get to there. They're going to take some damage, so they need to take... Can you roll me 4d4 twice?
It's
The
scary. Very precariously close.
7 and 11.
7, 11. First one takes 7 damage. The lower one there takes 11 damage as they start running through. And then both of them are going to spit these darts towards the sapling in the center. Ding and
Oof.
ding. Both hits. The sapling has an AC of 13, by the way, just so you're aware. And it doesn't have any of the funky stuff. There's like a natural armor thing that sometimes things get. The first one is going to damage it for 5 piercing damage. The second one is going to damage it for 9 piercing damage. It is on 1 HP. It does 14 damage in total. It's on 1 HP. It can be healed by you guys. These things running through the thorns here are like getting all messed up. The vines of Aura's spell are grabbing at them and trying to stop them and harm them, and it does. But they still spit these thorns out. You see them fired towards this tiny little sapling, which even in the maybe 12 seconds since you've landed from Shondacol to the ground here, you can see that it's grown a little bit, and then these 2 thorns hit it. You see the sapling wilt a little bit. The fuchsia flower on the side kind of shakes a little, and that brings us to your turn, Aura.
Okay, so the Briar Child is still attached to me?
Yeah, technically, yeah. You can move away from it.
Okay, I'm gonna like grab it and throw it on the ground, and then
Yep.
I'm gonna run over to the sapling, and I'm going to use Cure Wounds on it. Actually, no. Yeah, Cure Wounds.
Okay, you would technically be here.
Okay.
The
So-
sapling isn't in us. Actually, no, you're right. You would be here. It's right there. You're fine. You're good. Never mind. Don't mind me.
Okay.
It's been a week.
So
2 weeks since I made this.
so can I do I just roll cure Wounds for it?
Yes.
Okay. Does it matter what level? I'm sorry.
Well, it's up to you. The spell slots you have available at 1st and 2nd level are just that. So if you want, it's a 1st level spell, you can cast it at higher levels and consume that spell slot. So it's
Okay,
pretty much up to you.
I'm gonna do level 1. 5.
5. Roll it again.
Okay. 3.
3. Yes, you do 8 healing to it.
Okay.
Bringing it up to 9 in total. And how does it look? And it literally nourishes it back to life, like magically, like a Disney kind of bringing a flower back to life situation here is what it looks like as it is nourished again.
Whoops.
I feel like it's wilted over, and you know when the leaves just look wrinkly and it looks dead, I touch one of the leaves, and my, like a literal green thumb starts to glow, and it just starts to perk up like after you've just watered it, and it's not 100%, but it's standing up taller and it's looking more vibrant again.
Yeah, you can sense that that this creature. Let me see what you can sense about this creature. First of all, you can sense that your healing magic is extremely effective against it, on it. If you feel like, it's just extremely effective when you cast this spell. It seems to have nourished it and healed it for more than you would have expected, or more than you're used to being able to tell. Roll an intelligence or a wisdom check, I guess. Just roll one of them for me.
Intelligence or wisdom?
Yeah.
Both the same for me, so. Did I do it? There it is.
6.
6.
6 intelligence. Much like me in real life, you have no idea what's going on. But you can tell that your healing magic is hyper effective against this thing, or with this thing. That is your action. You still have a bonus action left.
I would like to use. Okay, so really quick, this patch of stuff with the thorns is this. Remind me again what happens with the one over here.
Which one? Sorry.
Like I have my big thorn patch, and then there's another patch over here.
Yep, this one is your one. This one was cast by the 2 Briar children that are over by Suna.
Okay.
This
I'm going
one
to
is your
use
one on the left.
small portal. I'm going to use my portal gun.
Mm-hmm.
And do I know how far their darts can go? Like, did I see and get a good idea of how far their darts can travel?
You feel like they don't go far.
Okay. I'd like to use my portal to see if it's possible to transport these 2 Briar children back here. Back to the back of my...
It very much is, yes.
Okay.
Click the speech bubble for me so I can double check, but I think they make strength saves.
Okay, and I'd also, if I can do this, I want to put them in the water.
All right, yeah. As an action, you create linked teleportation portals that remain open. You choose 2 points in the ground that you can see between 10 feet, and I think you need to move a little closer. You'd have to move to here, which you still have the movement for. You can do that, but just so you know, that's where you would be.
Okay.
10 feet in diameter opens over each point. A creature or object entering the portal exits from the other side. Yeah, any creature that's hostile to you makes a dex save against your spell save DC to avoid falling in. So, 2 dex saves. First one for the top one. And second one. Wow, they probably both make it, I'm guessing. What's your spell save DC?
11?
I recall making the ranger with you, and we had to make a choice. Would she be a caster, or would she be swinging a big sword? And yeah, so you were never going to be the most powerful caster in the world, but you create this thing, this portal underneath them, where you do your thing. What does it look like? You.
It's like a little ball of light slowly grows from my hand, and it ripples out like water, and it creates like a circle that starts heading towards them, but it hits them, and somehow it just ripples away. Like it looks like the space in front of them.
Maybe the thorns are protecting them from falling in.
Yeah,
I think they
stopped it.
Yeah, I mean they do a dex save, which essentially means that they kind of jump out of the way. I think this thing doesn't last too long, so it kind of comes down. They you see these things, they're slowed. Their reaction time isn't amazing, but this thing you're maybe unsure of how to use it, and they kind of swing around a couple of these thorns, using them to jump out of the way of it as it sits on a point. They avoid being pulled in, and they avoid falling into this thing. You see the opening appear above the water on the other side, but these guys are not dragged into it. You probably do see some stuff fall in, like bits of thorns and stuff that suddenly pop out at the other end of it, but these 2 manage just to avoid this thing, and that's the end of your turn. Technically you did 2 actions there as well, but I'm allow it.
Okay.
You still consumed a once a day thing. You have to do a short rest to get that back.
Mm-hmm.
Brings us to Suna. What do you want to do?
Maybe potentially make the worst decision of my life. I don't know. I've got 1 left, so let's hope the slow stays on. I'm going to cast Lightning Bolt, and I'm going to cast it on this little prick right here. The second one, which should hit the first one, because it goes in a straight line from me to the creature I'm attacking.
Okay,
so I think it would hit them both.
Oh, you're doing Lightning Bolt. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, what's the save? Dex.
Yes, let's just see. Dexterity, that's right.
All right, top and then bottom. 9, 14, 2 fails.
They failed.
Yeah?
Yes, that's right, yes.
All right, give me the damage, and I think that's it.
Jesus. 38
38 in total?
each.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Unless you want me to roll a second time for the next one.
Nope, it's just one, I think.
Technically, all right.
So the lightning bolt goes off. It fires across this kind of muddy landscape. It hits some of these vines that are being created by Aura's spell, and some of them like kind of ignite. You see these two creatures jump out of the way of this portal that opens up. The lightning bolt hits both of them completely unaware.
Say I took that up. I saw Aura do that, saw them jump, and that's why I did it.
Yeah. The lightning bolt probably goes in the portal and comes out the other end at like a weird angle as well in the background.
I love it.
The portal closes off. I can't remember what I said the rules are on the portal, but I think the rule is that it ends at the end of your turn or a current turn, like it happened. It's an action and it's an instant thing. So that closes off. These two things doing that thing again, blah, 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 standing there at the end of it. They look so messed up, but they're both still standing. They're hanging on to two of these vines that are twisting around. These vines and these magical vines that Aura have created are constantly moving and in flux, and they're like holding on to them. The two tiny little creatures, very messed up. I think all of them look messed up. Actually, no, they're too close. Well, these ones here are messed up. The three that are within the entangled vines nearest to the sapling are pretty messed up. The others not as much. That's your action.
Right.
Yeah, what do you want to do now? Who has
still
bardic
alive,
inspirations as well, by the way? Because don't forget you have
Not
those.
I do.
Okay.
I think Laura, right?
I am going to move.
Want me to...
Yeah, I was just counting to make sure that I could get close enough. Yeah, I'm gonna go my full movement, which is 35. Yeah, and then I'm going to lightning lure this fucked up briar child away from its partner.
This one?
Which means, I have to use a sorcerer point to make this a bonus action. This spell.
Right.
So yeah, I will do that.
Okay.
So it is a strength saving throw. Or it'll be pulled 10 feet. That's a fail.
Happening.
Yep.
Gets whipped through these things. Now, I don't think... Does it have... I don't think it makes the save being dragged. Does it? Let me check. What's that spell called? Thorns? Something thorns?
Mine?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that one's called spike growth.
Spike growth.
You can pop it in chat if you like.
Usually, when a creature moves into or within the area, usually when you're dragged through this stuff, it doesn't count. But I say it does today. So roll me.
That's what we did for the last fight with Death. With Merkel.
I know, but it's one of those weird rules that I should probably check because it'll mess me up one day.
All right.
I don't care too much. And mostly I would like to see this happen because it's cool.
I'm just trying to separate it.
I know you are, but then I realized that this could also maybe kill it, and that's fun too. So give me the 4d4. Shredded. The thing is all messed up from the lightning. It avoids the dodge. It gets hit by a lightning bolt, and then suddenly Suuna is moving into position. She creates this lightning lure, whips it backwards, and it's pulled out from this thing, and it's just shredded into bits. By the time it leaves the thorns, it is nothing more than a pile of thorns and twigs. You can barely make out the creature that it was before as it gets shredded up. That is your bonus action and your movement. I assume you're done.
Yes. Friends, there's not a lot left I can do.
Brings us
It does give disadvantage on dex saves. You're absolutely right, KPP. It does.
Slow does?
Yes.
Oh, well, that would have been very useful.
My bad. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. Too late now, though. Ellie, your turn.
Okay, I have a question. I'm in stealth. If I move my hex, does it pop me out of stealth?
Not if you move. If you attack, though, yeah.
Well, I just want to move my hex to this guy right here.
Oh, you're moving the hex spell. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can totally do that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna use my bonus to move the hex. And then I'm going to spend 2 Eldritch Blasts on this guy, and then 2 on this guy right here. Does Accelerate last more than 1 turn, right?
Does what, sorry?
I got accelerated. Does that last more than 1 turn?
Oh, no, I think it's just 1 use.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm just going to cast it on this guy right here. Both of them.
1 each?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'll do 1 each. And I have advantage because I'm in stealth.
Okay, give me both.
That's 13.
13's a hit.
And where's the other one? Okay. And 15.
Both hits. So the first one goes to the top one. 12.
12 and then 7 damage.
And 7. You
And
destroyed one of them.
Roll 1d6.
Yep, add the d6.
There you go.
So that's... Hang on. That is 12 and 12.
Okay. That's all I can... Well, I can move. I think I'm going to move closer to Aura as well.
So you destroy one of them. The other one that did the damage to the sapling, one is whipped out from the entanglement by Sauna. The other one, this kind of energy hits it. This dark fire hits it. This purple fire, hits it, and ignites it. It's nothing left of it after the Dragon Ball Z smoke clears. And the other one is messed up. It's barely like a thing. It's kind of like just a patch of broken thorns with a face at this point, dragging itself towards where the sapling is. But it's still technically up. And then, you move around into a defensive position behind the sapling, yeah?
Yeah, and then it's my turn.
All right, that brings us to Bo. Still down there, still 2 of these things in front of him.
First things first, I call out my healing word, bada boom! And as the gust of wind heads towards the sapling, it goes to the nearest pond, gracefully gathering some water and then carrying it over the sapling, and then it flows, it falls down like rain. And then, I need to cast that. Can I cast it at level 2?
You can, I think. Yeah.
All right.
As long as you have the spell slots. It consumes a level 2 spell slot and not a level 1 spell slot is how it works.
All right. Gotcha. All right. So that's for 10?
10, I think that heals it up to max.
Nice.
Yes. Wow.
And then I'm going to cast Ray of Frost once again on the one that's directly in front of me. And then I will roll another 1d6. Brats.
So you deal 12 damage to the one that's right in front of the one that's close to you, or the one that's down a little more?
The one that's down a little bit more.
Alrighty. 12 damage to that one. The same thing, I think. It kind of begins to shake off of the ice from before and the slow spell. It takes like 1 footstep and then gets dinged by another bunch of cold damage and frost and freezes in place and kind of clicks but frozen. Can't tell whether it's clicking and sticking or it's just chattering its teeth as it's frozen to the spot, but it is still alive. And
I stay put, and I look to Tobin and I try to pet him, but my hand goes straight through him, and I'm like, "What?" And I start freaking out.
Yeah, and it's Toby's turn.
Toby will attack, like the good dog he is, the one right in front of him.
All right.
16 because he has advantage.
16 with the advantage is a hit. Yeah, give me the damage.
All right. 7.
7, and then I have to give you a strength save.
That's right.
And that's a fail. So the creature is now
knocked prone,
which means it also is not going to be able to move anywhere. It is also melee attacks have advantage on it from you, Bo, as well. You hit it with a sword or something, some sort of melee attack. And then that's the end of Toby's turn.
That is correct.
Fry a child in front of Toby. can it stand up?
It will use its entire movement to do so, right? Because it takes half of a movement to stand up.
I just wondered if
and
it
that's
had
all has.
any
So, yeah.
movement, but it
No.
can. And then it's going to claw at him again. On a 10, I'm guessing that's a miss against his AC.
That is a miss, yes.
The other one, I'm going to roll a d6. That's a 3, which means it can't do anything. The other one literally is just stuck. It can't recharge its spit dart tongue.
So well
and
done.
It's just stuck. Can't do anything. There's two more up here. That I guess they can banish this spell, and then
Do they have to do an action to do that?
I don't think so. You just stop concentrating on it.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, actually, no, I don't need to banish it. Never mind.
It'll just disappear when you cast another concentration spell, right?
They're immune to it. That's all.
Oh.
So I don't need to worry about it. Now, they can only move half their movement still because they're slowed.
That's
so
correct.
They can get to here and here. And how far away are you? Wow. All right. So first one is going to spit a dart at you.
Right.
On a 9, you sense this thing fly past one of your ears. The other one is with disadvantage. So that's a 10. So they spit at you, these little darts. Then you see them clicking towards each other. They point at the sapling, and they turn their attention away from you this time, bringing us to Aura's turn.
Oh boy.
All the others are dead. Oh wait, no, there's another one. Sorry, hang on. This one hates Aura, doesn't it?
Also,
So
I don't mean to be that bitch, but everyone
wrong.
should probably try to break out of the slow spell.
They should.
Unless you don't want them to for some reason.
Nope, they've not been.
All right.
They've not been able to.
Oh, all right then. Never mind.
11. This thing tries to scratch at you, Aura. On an 11, I'm thinking that's a miss. So, yeah, this thing runs over to you and swipes at you. Maybe you lift a leg up and it looks up at you. And it's all messed up. This one in front of you is pretty much completely dead. What do you want to do on your turn?
Okay. I'm going to take my sword out and I'm going to swing at him.
Do it.
I mean, he looks so messed up. My brain is thinking that hopefully when I hit him, he will just explode into a million little twigs.
12 is a hit. Give me the damage.
11.
Explodes into a million little twigs. A little more than kindling. You... Okay. I'm going to be nice to you here. You can technically run all the way over here and hit that thing. But... Oh, no, you can't because of this. I'm dumb. Never mind. You have an extra attack, but I don't think you can hit anything in range unless you want to hit Ellie or the sapling.
I did cast Zephyr Strike last stream.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she did. At the very beginning.
You did. But I think you've got to remember the concentration on this thing. The concentration is... These are both concentration spells, right?
Let me
is
double
Zephyr
check
Strike
on...
concentration spell?
No, Zephyr Strike.
so, no.
Oh yeah, it is concentration.
Oh, yeah.
No. Sorry, Spike Growth is concentration. Zephyr Strike is also concentration.
Yeah. So, since you've got a lot of use out of this thing, I'm going to say your Zephyr Strike dropped.
Yep.
I can't remember
Okay.
which order you did it in, but since you haven't really used the Zephyr Strike.
I mean, could I
younger
technically
one.
use my longbow?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think you have to use one weapon because you're technically like stowing the weapon every time you switch between them anyway, but I'm going to find out because I thought it as well, and now's the time to find out, and it slows everything down to a stop, but I'd like to learn sometimes. Switch between
Yes, we all like to learn.
sword and bow extra attack 5e.
Meanwhile-
Let's see if that works. Switching between
Meanwhile, we
weapons
see-
between attacks. Yeah, go on. What are we doing meanwhile?
We're seeing Ellie. Ellie, who are you looking at? What do we see for Ellie? Because I feel like she has been invisible most of the round. I mean, nothing's happening yet, but who are you looking at like you're gonna kill them? I'm assuming.
Well, Bo and Toby seem to have this under control. I think I'm gonna go for these ones that are near you now. I wanted to finish these
interesting.
off because they were help finish these off because they were obviously close.
Yes.
But these guys are getting close again.
So
I'm thinking the one that's just. I think I would go after the one near you, if it looks like they're going after you.
interesting. It looks like they're going after the sapling, I think, not me. And I will shout at you on my turn. I'm literally just stalling while Brad looks something up, and I'm waiting for eye
Ellie
contact.
looking this way after Aura killed that one into a million little twigs.
And Bo and Toby are making nice.
From what I can tell, you can switch.
I can?
Yeah, I think to draw and sheathe a weapon once per turn is a free interaction. So if you sheathe, you can't.
So she's
draw.
essentially
If you draw, you can't
stowing,
sheathe.
then drawing.
You can do one, but that's all
each
you need
turn.
to do. So yeah,
Yeah.
But it would be a quick thing. It's more like you drop the great sword and bring the bow out and fire. But it doesn't mean that at the beginning of your next turn you don't immediately pick the sword back up. So.
Awesome.
Okay.
So you know what?
That's
Yeah,
so
you can
cool.
do it. It's a weird 5e thing where you donning and doffing stuff and switching between weapons and stuff like that is and picking weapons up off the ground is all just done on this non-free action that doesn't exist. But yes, you can fire your bow.
Okay. Well, of the two near Suna,
Yes.
which one's the most messed up looking?
Give me a perception check, I guess.
14.
The top one.
Okay. I'm gonna get my longbow out. I'll drop my sword to the ground and pull back and aim for the one closest to Suna. Or the one that's higher up.
Yeah, go for it. Give me the bow attack.
14?
Hit.
11.
Arrow flies true, cuts off this thing's arm. But it's still up. You do 11 damage to it.
Holy shit, these things are strong.
Yeah, it's still kind of trying to run forward towards where the sapling is. But yeah, you see this thing again, it's like just hitting a little wicker thing. It's not the same as experiencing blood loss or whatever. So it just keeps moving. This kind of weird thorny twig arm removed, but still able to progress. You can still move a little bit.
This might be for next turn, but I still have this. Is my concentration spell for the spike growth still happening? And can I move it?
It's still up. Spike growth. Don't think you can move it though.
Okay.
Bada-rum, bada-bing, bada-boom. No, you can't move it.
Okay. Then I am done.
Okay. You can drop the concentration whenever you want, if you want.
I'll just leave it.
Yeah, it's
Just in
not-
case.
I don't think it's a thing you have to worry about actions and stuff for. An economy. All right. Suna, your turn.
I cast Ray of Frost.
All right, on a crit. Which one?
Let's see. Let's find out. Any creature within range. I'm actually going to do the one that looks like I cannot stop it from moving forward. So not the one directly in front of me, but the one further south that's heading straight
This one,
towards the sapling. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Yep.
Give me the damage. The definite hit on a crit.
Oh my god.
At 20.
Wow.
Bloody hell. Yeah, this Ray of Frost, what does it look like? It messes it up, but it doesn't, and it slows it down, but it doesn't do...
I'm quite concerned for Bo's safety here because I know that we each decided to take two of these horrific little briar children, and I see him casting the Ray of Frost, and it's slowing them. It's stopping the one. So I immediately do that, and I think it looks almost exactly like Bo's because I'm mimicking it.
Okay.
So it just, yeah.
Yeah, and
hopefully
it
it
freezes
slows it.
this thing over. It begins to slow down and pretty much comes to a complete stop with the magic of the slow spell as well. That is an action, I think. You have a bonus action?
No, I'm.
Movement?
Oh, I could. Yes, I'll do that. That seems smart. Yep, I'll go back up this way. Can you, hold on. My brain is awful. I'll go, 30. Yeah, I'll go right there. Yep.
All right, yeah, you run up the, on the outskirts there. Ellie, your turn.
Which one did you Ray of Frost?
The
Bottom
one
one.
stuck in the, yep.
Okay. I think I... Yeah, I'm gonna go for that one too.
Ray of Frosted. All right.
I'm gonna use my bonus to move my hex once more to that one, and then attack him twice with Eldritch Blast.
All right, give me the attack.
So there's 13 is the first one, and then 21 is the second.
That'll do it.
That much damage. Oh, and then plus a
And then a d6.
5.
So again, we see this thing just hit by this kind of purplish fire. These eldritch blasts that come in, they hit the area that you see the kind of brambles that are around it. The spell drops here for all of the thorns that the Briar Child had cast with its partner, and then when the smoke clears, nothing left but a few scorched twigs as you take out this one. Anything else on your turn?
I don't... Oh, I could move, I guess. No, I think I'm fine here.
All right.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna move real quick, right in front.
Okay.
Right in front.
Yeah. So a thing that you can be aware of, just some D&D tactics here, is that if this thing moved, say, to here,
Yeah.
past you, it goes into your threat range and back out of it again, so you would get an opportunity of attack. So
Okay.
you can position yourselves in ways that you want things to run past you or have to engage with you. It doesn't bring them to a stop necessarily, but it would enter and then leave your threat range. That also counts for you guys, but it's actually a decent tactic that you can use. And I'm not much of a D&D tactician, even though I'm a GM, but there's a rule for you, and that is, I think, what you ended up doing, whether you meant to or not. So that's a good idea. Bo, your turn.
Okay, well, first things first, I'm gonna cast a Ray of Frost again on the Briar Child that's furthest away from me.
Okay. All the frost. The 25 is definitely a hit. Yes.
All right, and
Close
then
as that to a crit.
another 6, so that's 15.
15 damage to it. It's super hurt, but not dead. But it is
No.
immobilized again.
All right, well, I'm gonna make sure it's dead. I'm gonna pull out my light crossbow and hope that it strikes true.
I don't think you can. You need
Oh,
to.
no?
Can you use a light crossbow? No, you can. I think you can only use a hand crossbow
Oh, a hand crossbow? Okay.
on an offhand weapon attack.
I see.
Memory serves, and it's been a while, and I always forget offhand stuff. I'm pretty sure.
But you do still have that 1d4 water attack, right?
You do have that. You just get
It's
a
a bonus.
Yeah.
It's a free bonus action every
Alright.
turn that you can use if you want. And if water does extra damage, then I don't know how that works actually.
I don't think you've noticed that water does extra damage. Cold and water damage are technically different. Water damage is
Yeah, I
acid,
think they're
but-
different. Yeah.
Right? It's just cold. All right.
But you can just basically hit anything with a 1d4, so you can just roll damage as long as there's water near you. You can fire.
Okay.
It's almost like a magic missile. They always hit.
Could I perhaps pull out a short sword, and get the one near Toby?
You cannot.
Oh, dang. So not
Yeah.
even that.
You can only do a bonus action.
Okay.
Actually, you have a short sword?
Yes.
I think you can. Let me just double check. You can do an offhand attack, but you remove your proficiency from it. But I have to check what a short sword has. It needs to have finesse. Light or finesse, one of them, but it has both. So actually you can, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll do that. I don't normally have to.
You no longer have
Use
advantage
my-
against that one, though, because it stood up.
Yeah.
I lied to you about that. Well, I didn't
10.
lie.
Probably missed. Really
10.
bad.
Its armor class is reduced by 2 currently.
It is, but
don't know
also
if that
you
helps.
remove 3 from this roll because you lose your proficiency, so it's actually a 7. So yeah, you swing towards this thing, and it's a. If Ellie sees this, she would be ashamed.
She'd probably face
The
him home
weapons
so hard.
master. She'd probably seen Ellie like spinning short swords around like just crazy, just casually one day. 'cause
She's the master, and I
master
tried
of all weapons.
to copy, but I
Right.
just failed.
Aura's
miserably.
probably able to use all sorts of weapons as well. She's got like the she does like the
Toby
cloud
does the-
thing with a buster sword every now and then, spinning this great sword around, and then Bo gets this thing out with his left hand and kind of just does this wobbly attack towards this
Yeah, it
tiny
probably just
creature.
looked like I was messing around with a pool noodle or something.
Yeah,
and-
It just the thing kind of just jumps out of the way quite easily from the attack there. As you are not proficient with the short sword in your other hand, because essentially what it is, you're using your if you're right-handed, it would be your left hand, and because you're using your off hand to attack with the bonus action with it. But
Dang it.
yeah, so you missed with that one.
Yep.
The
I guess that. Oh,
I'm assuming that's the end of your turn, bringing us
yep,
to
that's the end of my turn.
the Shadow Hound.
Toby will attack. Surprise.
Right.
Where's your sheet, Toby? There you are. 21.
Absolutely a hit.
12.
12 damage.
And it falls back down.
It falls to the ground. It gets back up. Swipes at Toby on a 24 is going to be a hit. 6
Yes.
piercing damage to Toby. The other one is going to attempt to recharge its little spit thing, completely immobilized by the frost from Bo's ray of frost. They're unable to do anything at all. There's one which is alive. It attempts to move 10 feet, I think is all it can move, so it can go from here.
Can't move. But can it?
The one that's near
Yes, it's-
you.
I cast Ray of Frost on it.
You
oh, no,
cast Ray
not
of
that
Frost on
one.
the other
On the other one. You're right. You're right.
Moves 10 feet. Can it fire at the sapling from here? Let me find out. It can with disadvantage. So it... Oh, wait, no, it needs to recharge it as well. Hold on. Oh, can't do anything. I don't think. Nope. Can it move again? Use this action to move 10 more feet, can't it? So it's going to move 10 more feet to there. And then it's Aura's turn.
I think it can only attack or... Well, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Might matter. Let's hope it doesn't.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stay where I'm at and do a longbow shot at that briar child that I shot at before, or the one that's right up by Ellie.
Yes, okay. Yep. You can fire twice
Okay.
as well.
Okay. 14.
14's a hit.
8.
8 damage. You fire the other arm off of it.
Okay. I'm gonna just shoot at it again.
Yep.
7.
Natural 1.
Yeah.
Roll me a d20.
I don't want to, Brad. A 9.
A 9. Let's see what happens to you if my computer doesn't crash. Oh god, there we go. I got to that. Someone buy me a new computer, please. Thanks. 9. All that happens is the arrow explodes on the impact. It misses the creature, hits the ground, psh, splits apart. Weak. It's a rubbish arrow, basically. If that makes you
Okay.
feel any better about the terrible
It
shot.
does.
It was actually
It really
just
does.
a really crappy arrow that someone had incorrectly fletched. You can move if you want. You have a bonus action if you want.
Do I know if these briar children are easily like blinded, or if they are distracted by sounds or anything like that?
Give me a nature check.
Okay. 11.
11. They are distracted a little by sound and movement and stuff. You get the feeling that you're not in the real world, quote unquote real world, that you're not dealing with like the usual Briar children that you're used to dealing with, but they do act in a very similar way. They are used quite often as like spies and scouts for fey creatures and things a lot of the time, so they're very much reliant on their perceptions, and it means that they're kind of trained to just be distracted by that stuff, and it does kind of work a lot of the time, at least in the real world. Yeah, these ones seem to be, if they're almost enthralled, right? Like they've been given an enthralled objective. Go after this sapling, but you have noticed them being distracted by things other than the sapling a lot.
Is there a pebble or a rock on the ground next to me, and will you allow me to pick it up and throw it near the Briar child?
I will allow that to happen, yes. You just need to roll me a D20 plus your dex modifier.
D20 plus my dex modifier.
The dex modifier is
16?
The number that's above the 16. 3 probably?
Okay, 3. Yeah. 18.
18, yeah. What are you just throwing it near it to see if it distracts it?
Yeah, I want to see if like it lands, and if it turns, if it like reacts in any specific way.
Let's see if it is distracted. It stops, looks immediately at the ground near it as if it's startled and looking for what the hell just appeared next to it. One side of it was an arrow that exploded, on the other side of it a pebble, and it suddenly slows down and looks around where it is stood right now, stationary.
I would just yell out to everybody, you can distract them, you could just try to lure them away from this. And I'll end my turn with that.
Brings us to Suna.
I use that information to, oops, that's too far, to run closer, and I will do Ray of Frost again.
All right.
Nine.
Wow. Roll me a D20. Again, natural 1.
Oh, 20. That's
I think that's
not
a bad
good.
thing. I think it means
Yeah,
you rolled
that's
twice.
not good
Yeah.
enough.
Roll 2 D20s.
3.
And then another one.
Oh, sorry. 10. 3 and a 10.
You stumble off balance. Your foot falls into like a weird patch of grass that is swampy, and it's actually your foot dips down a few inches and you stumble. You're off balance. You have disadvantage on your next attack roll.
Right.
And then you also lose focus and go to the bottom of the initiative, which is one that I've not seen before. I don't think it matters. The weird one, because actually I think it gives you another turn. Because you're at the top of the initiative table.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say you stumble and fall over, and not fully fall over, but stumble where you're walking along, and it messes up your entire thing. And now it's Ellie's turn. That's it.
Okay.
Big fumbles. Suna is gone. Forever.
I will be right back. I
Falls
waited
into
until
a-
my turn was over.
A
Hold
void of swampiness in the ground, and we will never see her again.
I'm going to move forward. And I am going to cast Booming Blade.
Okay.
Which means I make a melee attack. Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna do that with my, I don't even know if this matters, with my Venom Dagger. 12.
12's a hit.
9.
It's dead.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. You just appear in front of it, bring out the thing, enchant the blade with the booming magic, and then whip this thing's head off, and it just falls apart into twigs on the ground.
And then I'm gonna move the rest of my distance, I guess.
Yep.
Which I think is right there, and then go into stealth.
All right, roll me a stealth check, and then Bo, your turn.
30.
Damn.
All right. Well, heeding Aura's words, I instantly cast Vicious Mockery on the one in front of Toby. I start scolding it. You are naughty, and if your mama were here to see this, she ought to be ashamed that you're attacking Mother Nature. And then I also cast Ray of Frost on the other one.
Okay, yeah, give me the...
Oh, God.
Ooh. First
Not
of all, the one that you abusively speak to looks at you with a hurt look on its face and dies. You killed it. The other one, however, give me a d20. Natural 1.
Rolls are really bad. Can I still do the extra damage though?
Your spell just fails. That's what
No.
happens. The spell simply fails. As you cast it, nothing happens. You fumble over a word, or you stumble through the somatic components, your hands moving or something, and it just slightly off with something. You realize that the spell doesn't go off correctly. You have a bonus action that you can use, I think. Actually, no, I don't think you can. I think you did two actions again.
Yeah, I think I'm.
You did two actions again. It's okay.
Really? Oh boy, I
Well,
thought
it doesn't
it's
matter
a
too much.
cantrip. Vicious Mockery is a cantrip.
Cantrips are not a bonus action. I don't know who lied to you. Someone lied to you. Might have been me on a mistake at the beginning of this campaign, but someone lied.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And the
Okay, I won't do
information
that
they
again.
gave you was that cantrips go on a bonus action, and I think that's been in your head. Like when you learn a piece of information first, and you're like, that's the information. I have a lot of them in my head from watching other GMs do home rules and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's the rule now, and that's always been the rule, and I find out years later it's not. So don't worry too much. But I think that you, cantrip doesn't mean bonus
I'll be a good boy
action.
the next time. I won't do that, Brad.
Some cantrips will be a bonus action, but it'll say everything tells you
Okay.
whether it's an action or a bonus action in the.
Oh yes, it is.
thing.
It is an action. Yes, it is.
So that's the only way you know it's a bonus action, because it just says
Alright.
bonus action. Some things,
Gotcha.
it's not really based on the type of spell.
Okay.
But
Ooh.
that's the end of your turn.
Yep, that's the end of my turn.
Toby's turn.
Right.
One Briar child
Toby's
left.
gone.
Toby's
Toby's
gone.
Yeah. When that Briar child dies, then Toby just disappears.
This Briar child.
Oh no.
Roll a d6. Oh, it's gonna spit a dart at you, Bo. On a 15 versus your AC.
Can I use cutting words?
Yes, you can.
That's a
Consumes a bardic
reaction.
inspiration.
I snap back at it. No, not today.
Roll a d8. You reduce the thing, so it's now a 13 against your AC. What's your AC?
Oh, my AC is 60. Oh, wait. Yeah.
All right. Well, you didn't need to cutting words it,
Yeah,
but
16.
it missed you anyway. But now
Okay.
now it really doesn't like you either. My Roll20 is slowing down a lot. But yeah, it's running. It spits at you. You call it a soggy little twat, and it gets annoyed, and then it carries on running past you. These things run, I think, like a cactar from Final Fantasy. That's kind of what they look like, and it's confused, and they keep spitting these things at you. And if I could go back in time, they would be cactars, and I missed a thing that I'm annoyed about. Aura, your turn. There's one left, and it's running towards the sapling.
Son of a. Okay. I'm just, because of the distance I am, I'm just gonna shoot my longbow at it.
All right, give me the attack rolls.
16
16.
and 21.
2 hits. You need to make up
8. 16 total.
The first one killed it. The second one, the second one hits nothing, because there's nothing but a bunch of twigs that's left behind. This last one here is exploded. This arrow hits this creature. You see them fall apart. The little briar children, the bits that make up their twigs and things, they disappear in the same way as maybe your spell does of your entangling vines. All of the things around kind of just dissipate as if they were nothing more than a spell which is cast. Next to you, Aura, just behind where Ellie is, just beyond Bo's vision, and in front of where Sauna is standing, this sapling suddenly expands massively. There's a moment, Aura, where you're pushed back, as this thing just it expands outwards and it grows into a mighty oak suddenly out of the ground. You see this thing coming towards you, put your hands up, and it just pushes you backwards. Your feet, your boots pushed along on the mud. As this thing expands suddenly, this huge canopy appears above where you guys are, and there's a voice as it does so that speaks out to where you guys are standing. Each of you can hear it. It sounds as if the tree is speaking, but it's not like an ent, like it's not got a face that's speaking. It's just the tree itself with this booming voice speaks out and says,
God of the dawn, renewal, birth, vitality, youth and spring, I am Lathander.
And that's where we're going to go to a short break.
Holy shit.
We did it. Short break here.
Wait,
Everyone
I'm
go
sorry.
grab a drink.
Did we just save a god?
Yes. Congratulations. You saved the god of the dawn, renewal, birth, vitality, youth, and spring, the god Lathander.
Yes.
Oh, don't mind us. We'll save you, but we're on our way to kill someone else. Another god. No
Yeah.
big deal.
Hopefully he has more than 18 health now.
Maybe.
No shit.
Perhaps it was simply a trial. We will find out after the break. In fact, I don't know if we will. We'll find out something after the break when we return. Thanks for watching. Go grab a drink of water and nothing else. You're not permitted to drink anything other than water while you're watching this show because of Bo. See you in a few minutes.
What the fuck, Brad?
Welcome back to Tablestory's Dying Order with me, the greatest GM that ever lived,
Matt Mercer.
Matt Mercer. You are sat. No, you're not sat. You're stood around this huge oak that grows suddenly and is maybe like 50 feet across. It's huge. It takes up this enormous section of the ground. Around you, where the swamp was, suddenly grass sprouts and flowers. You see bushes grow, other trees in the distance, and within moments, around you is a lush forest. There are areas where it still has an element of swamp life. There are still bits of lakes and ponds and water and stuff. There's algae that grows across it. It's very lush and very green around you. At the center of this tree, while it speaks, there's a pulsing blue light that emanates as it speaks to you when it's growing. You find yourselves kind of stood now on a platform in the center of a ring of water that's, again, covered in this kind of green algae. Bo, you can sense that the water around you is very fresh, even though, obviously, it's covered in all of this greenery. You do get the sense that it's... for you now, water has an element. You understand every property about water is what it is. So you can tell immediately whether it's fresh water, whether it's salt. You can tell whether it's corrupted, desecrated, poisoned, something like that.
Oh.
This is like beyond clean, bar the algae and the greenery that's growing around it and on top of it. You all see this enormous tree now above you and in front of you. It introduces itself as Lathander, and you can give me religion checks if you want. When you hear the name.
Shit. 19.
19, 11, 11, and 10. So you all pretty much get the same information. Lathander is a very famous god and religious figure across all of Lacrin. The Morning Lord. A lot of people will go to the Church of Lathander, even if they subscribe to different sects of religions and stuff like that. They will still go and pray to the Morning Lord in the morning as the sun rises. You'll always see a lot of people, especially in big cities. Those of you that have been to big cities will see people flocking before they go and start a day of work or something to these temples to Lathander. He's a god that covers a lot of different things, but mostly it's like creativity, dawn, renewal, birth, that kind of thing. But he's also the god of spring. So I think that would be what would stand out to you here. Generally speaking, known as a pretty good god. People who revere him just generally speak of him in glowing terms. He doesn't have that kind of element to him that Merkel had, where it was like, oh, yeah, we know about him being a god of death, and we understand that death is in its way a part of life, but necromancers also pray to this god of death. There isn't really any...
And there isn't the oppressive time, to wait for your death.
He's a radiant and good god, loved by all, life, light, spring. Yeah. And that's what you understand of him, at least from the perspective of the people of Lacrin who almost certainly have never met Lathander, you know what I mean? But this is how they see him and revere him. And this enormous tree grows, introduces itself as Lathander, and then the boughs of the tree, the canopy above you, the branches, these huge oak branches and twigs twist into different shapes, and they're moving about above you as each of you look up. You can see that the twigs, that the branches that run along the trunk of the tree shift and change into what looks like an almost natural looking ladder that climbs up and twists up the center of the tree towards the canopy at the top. where there's all these moving branches and twigs. What do you guys want to do?
Do you think we could sit down for a minute? I'm a little out of breath. That was a lot of work.
Yes, let's do just that.
As Bo walks past me to go like towards the tree and all that, I pop out behind him, like out of step.
Oh, hi, Ellie.
Maybe we should rest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we have to climb up.
What? Oh, I can't climb right now. I need to sit down for a spell.
Well, can I look at the tree? Like, I'm gonna study it and see if there is anything different about it. I mean, clearly there's stuff that's different about it, but like other things that might be different about it.
Yeah, give me a nature check.
Okay. 19.
It's certainly a type of oak tree, but you have not really seen one that's this large, apart from maybe the ridiculously, absurdly large one that you had in the vision when you left Chiba's ice palace, and you were, each went on your own like personal journey to a degree. The thing is ridiculously large. It has this core at the center of it, this pulsing blue light that at the moment is relatively dormant, but you can sense that there's an energy to this thing. The tree is more than there are tree ents, which are like the ents from Lord of the Rings, that are large, moving, lumbering creatures, and they do exist, whether you've seen one or not. You might know of them. There are awakened trees, which are trees that are similar to a tree ant. They're kind of just moving trees. They will move quietly. They're not as highly sentient, but they move around. And this seems like neither of those. This seems like something else. It definitely does seem different to you, but for the most part, it appears to just be a very large oak in form and shape. It's constantly moving in the canopy above you. The arms and branches are twisting around above you and stretching out and stuff. Wow. Yeah, anything specific you were looking for?
Well, I guess that, but I guess if I touch it, does anything feel different about the tree if I touch it? Because I
don't think so.
Is that little plant that was next to it just gone?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just observing it and seeing its movements, and I'll just look back at the group and say, let's maybe take a rest here underneath the tree for a bit.
Yeah, that sounds like a wonderful idea. Are you up for some conversation?
Are you speaking to the tree?
I 100% am speaking to the tree.
The tree immediately above you, when you say that you can't climb, you notice that some of the branches are coming down towards you.
Oh.
They form like four kind of twisting, turning hammocks that come down like little. They stretch down as if they're on vines, but they're clearly like oaken and stronger. They twist into a hammock type shape. Roughly the size of each of you to fit in. One falls down just in front of where each of you are, and you hear the tree respond to you and say,
Spring! It breathes new life into the world around us. Come, rest.
Thank you. Well, look at that. Look, it's perfectly our size.
I stare up at it in wonderment.
It's beautiful. I'm just going to sit right here and rest my head here for a minute.
I'll start sitting down next to Suna and lean against the tree.
You're not going to use a hammock?
No, I think I might prefer.
Don't be rude, Aura.
Oh, okay. And I'll stand up and I'll go to one of the hammocks and awkwardly try to get into it. My horn probably gets caught on some things, and that's why I chose to maybe sit by it, because I've had this happen before.
Without any hesitation, I'm like, okay, I'm getting myself into one of these too. So I pull up my pants, readying to climb into one. I settle in as soon as I get in, and I just start dozing off.
I don't think I've ever spoken to a god before. Were you here since the beginning? I hope you don't mind if I ask some questions. I am ever curious.
Are all four of you in your own like little hammock?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They begin to rise slowly upwards. It's not like one of those horrible rides where it launches you upwards, but it begins to lift you upwards. Again, the tree is very tall and it takes a little while, and as you're being lifted up, you can see the land around you a little clearer. You can see that it just seems like an endless forest now with these huge patches of water. The area where there was an ocean still seems to kind of exist, and it brings you upwards towards the canopy at the top. And again, when it speaks, the core at the center, this blue light pierces through some of the oaken bark in the center, and he says,
I have been here since the beginning, yes. These are my friends.
there's like the oaks and branches that twist around at the top above you, and you can see all the trees around where the center of this tree are kind of shift and sway a little bit. They don't say anything or glow in the same way. It lifts you upwards and says,
Yes, these are my people. I am their hero, you could say.
Hero? That's quite lovely. We'd like to be heroes of our people as well. I mean, that's what we're trying to do anyway. And hello, it's nice to meet all of you. I'm Suna.
They sway around you, and the large tree kind of bellows a laugh.
Yes, you are the champions, and this one here I have nurtured since a babe.
The one carrying Aura lifts up above where the three of you are, and says,
a gift.
As it lifts you upwards, another branch comes down, and it's got the flower on it, and it's a fuchsia. It brings the flower down towards you and says,
Please take it. It can survive outside of my nurturing.
I'll grab it gently and like kind of cradle it by its roots and bring it close to my chest.
Yeah, it's a pretty big fuchsia. It's bigger than the ones that you might have seen if you've ever seen one before. At the root where it is, it seems to be kind of glowing a little bit, an almost radiant light with that same kind of blue to the bottom. But for all intents and purposes, it seems to be a kind of a fuchsia plant.
I'm gonna ask, what do I do with it?
You keep it. It is a gift.
Should I plant it at my farmhouse?
You may do as you wish.
And I look at it. Is there anything that I'm noticing that might allude to it being magical or something other than just a plant?
You
said it was glowing, right?
Yeah, you can give me an Arcana check.
Okay. 19.
It's a totally magical flower. You're not really sure how or why or what it represents, but it's definitely a flower that is magical in nature. It's got it won't wilt, it won't die. You don't need to plant it. You can keep it on you. You can put it in a vase. You can plant it in a garden. It is immortal. It's an immortal fuchsia. But for all intents and purposes, it just seems to be a magical fuchsia, much bigger and stronger. But yeah, it doesn't wilt or die or anything like that.
Does it seem alive like Baby Groot?
No, but it seems alive in the sense that it is a flower in the same way that plants are alive.
Damn it. Okay. I was hoping he could sit on my shoulder. I'm going to, I'm just going to be like admiring it and then looking at my pockets and where I keep the...
Thank you, maybe.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited to plant it or keep it on me.
It's a lovely gift.
Yeah, the gift of spring.
Of spring? Does it come back every year? After winter?
It will remain ever alive.
It's beautiful, and I'll I have my mealworms on my belt, and then I have like an empty pocket that something must have fallen out of. So I tuck it in, but the roots are in the pocket.
The three of you are lifted up into the canopy, and it more branches come down and around you, but they just kind of bolster the hammock that you're in. The tree slows its movement. It calms down a little bit and says,
Blossom by blossom, the spring begins. Before we party, perhaps you would like to rest.
Party? But yes, rest first sounds lovely.
Spring is nature's way of saying, let's party.
I love it.
I think back to what he said with, I've nurtured this one. And I'm going to ask, and what do you mean that you've nurtured me since I was young?
You are the chosen champion.
Of what particularly?
Of this, the Dying Order.
And I look at the others. Thank you for watching over me. And I kind of give like wide eyes. I think rest might be good though. But not just you, what do you mean?
Well, there is, what's that one called? The Rider of the Winds.
Okay, I'm gonna say, I wrote it down, but I want to know how to pronounce it correctly. Shant. How do I say his name?
Sean DeCole?
Sean DeCole. Sean DeCole said he had seen me before. Is that true?
Ah, yes. That one. Has also nurtured you, watched for you, cared for you.
He was very kind.
And then there is summer, and autumn, and winter.
Like one for each season?
Yes.
And can I think back to my childhood and my life if I have like whispers of memories of these?
You can roll me a wisdom check. Just give me a wisdom check.
14.
14. I think it's not really like you've interacted with these beings before. It's not like you have a memory of suddenly interacting with a tree in the forest that you'd forgotten about or anything like that. But I think you maybe get the sense that you've always had a connection to nature in some way. It's not necessarily that you're a champion of nature, but I think in this situation you have had an affinity that you grew up with, that you were taught by your father in rangercraft and druidcraft, that kind of thing, the botany and stuff, and you took to it very early and very quickly. And probably, I would say, it's up to you whether you think that ultimately you became a better ranger, or whether if you think you had applied yourself you would have become a better botanist or something like that. But I think you have an inkling that either way you definitely could have done. It's certainly something that is just a natural gift that you've had, a skill that came to you very easily, at least. But I don't think you have any necessarily like hard memories of interacting with beings like this, or anything that has been forgotten and is maybe being remembered now, at least.
I'd probably try to think like, oh, have I seen the giant flying creature? And then I kind of flash through like when I was a kid gardening with my dad, and just him saying, wow, you're a natural, and just playing with Klex and in the forest and seeing how inept he was at climbing trees and how I was able to just do that. Do I feel like I'm comforted once I'm finally settled in the hammock and that I feel like safe?
I think all of you do, yeah. You feel pretty comforted, pretty safe. there doesn't appear to be any animals here. There doesn't appear to be like insects or animals or but there's only flora, no fauna, basically. It doesn't it feels comfortable. It's not boiling hot, but it's warm. The sun is in the center of the sky. It feels like a midday spring sun. It feels comfortable. You certainly all feel. You might even feel a little sleepy, even if you don't sleep. It's just a relaxing.
What a lovely
place,
feeling.
I think.
I rub the tattoo of the chronomancy symbol on my hand. And I've seen that Ellie has used her dagger. And I just ask, I had a clover once that I traded. What did that mean?
A clover? Well, I'm not sure what that is. What does it look like?
It was just a little 4-leaf clover, and I had to keep it safe, and then I had a choice to trade it for time. Something, and I look over at Suna. The ability to...
I believe it's called chronomancy. We were given these objects at the beginning of the Dying Order, at the beginning of the race, and some of us made the decision to keep those and use them and unlock some crazy innate power we didn't know we had, and some of us traded it for the borrowed magic from long past.
Yes. I had a similar exchange. That is why I am now larger than my friends, why I am able to think and to speak your language. If you traded a clover, then perhaps you would have been able to grow more than just 4 leaves like me. I have lots of leaves. Do you think perhaps you could have grown into a giant oak tree?
My mouth just kind of falls open.
Ellie
Probably.
Ellie opens her eyes and she's like, I'd like to see that.
Can I still do that?
You claim to have traded it away, did you not?
Yes.
Then I would suggest you could try.
Should I do it when we're on the ground? And I'll look over the hammock edge. Maybe when we're back down there? Or could I try it here?
I will place you on the ground.
The thing suddenly starts bringing you down towards
Good
the
luck,
ground.
Aura.
It places you onto the ground again. The three of you, it lowers you a little bit, so you're a little closer to the ground to give a better view. And the branches pull away from where Aura is, and you're now standing there at the root of this tree. What do you do?
What do you suggest I do? Do I just I think that I'm a tree?
Yes.
Do I set roots and
Yes.
so
Maybe they need to be watered. Hey, Bo, I heard you can water, right? Maybe she needs to be watered.
Yes.
Yes, ally.
You water a tree?
I could try it first, and if it's not working, you could throw some water on me.
You want me to get you wet?
Well, let me just try this first. And so I'm gonna stand there, and there's tree pose in yoga, so similar to that. Sorry. I'm gonna put my legs down, and I'm gonna put my arms up like this, and I'm just gonna close my eyes and like concentrate really hard that I am a tree. And that like I'm putting roots down, and I want my arms to grow out, and I imagine like little branches growing out from my fingertips.
How long do you do that for?
2 minutes tops before I think it's not working.
Yeah, nothing's happening. You just stand there at the base of this giant tree with your
Working.
arms out and your eyes closed,
I
kind
see.
of trying to
Am I a
imagine
tree?
things, and nothing
I
happens.
see that she's standing there for some time. So what I do is I start to use my ability to makeshift water, and I start gathering some, and then I start to sprinkle some over Aura in hopes that she'll grow.
Yes, the ally of all
Just
trees.
like in rain cloud.
Water.
There's an opening in the canopy that allows for like a shaft of sunlight to hit you as well.
And some sun. Let us see if you can grow now.
I just muster everything within my. I feel like water's like hitting my.
Water's just
face.
hitting you. It's just being lifted up from the ring of like lake around this tree, and it's just hitting you and raining on you. There's a shaft of sunlight that's down on you in this shaded area.
Do I feel anything?
You feel damp, and there's a shaft of warm sunlight on you at the same time, but you most certainly do not change. No.
I'll pull my hands in and try to like imagine little branches coming out from my fingertips and just like stare at it.
Okay. Yeah.
I will it. I will it to happen.
As she's doing this, I'm like, why do you want to be a tree again?
I don't know, because he said I maybe could be. That's kind of cool, right?
I mean, he's pretty cool, but I mean, how are we gonna fight a god if you're just a tree?
I mean, I could grow up from underneath enemies and destroy their bodies. I don't know.
You could vine wrap them. Oh, like yank them up. I see now.
But you already leave that big thorny thing down. It's very
I already
helpful.
knew that.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a tree to use your abilities, Aura. You're very good at them. Now come on up.
All right. And while I'm waiting for the hammock or going towards the hammock, can I just like squat on the ground and see if I can channel nature
Yeah, you can do
for
that.
like
yeah.
extra magic?
You can do that, yes.
You want so badly to be a tree.
I know. And yeah, you do that. You try and channel the nature. You certainly feel something. Give me a wisdom check again.
I feel like my thought process has changed more because Ellie said, oh, you could be like vines and do that. And I'm like, oh, that would be more helpful than becoming a tree. So I'm thinking if I can tell if there's something I can draw from that might help. A 9.
Here's what you get. You get a similar feeling as to what Ellie had in the other domain. You understand that this place belongs entirely to this tree that you're speaking to. This is his boundary. This is the same thing as where you four go back to rest, where the 4 doors are. You get the sense that the original one that you went to was Ahi's boundary. The one that you met Deep Seychelles in was his boundary. Merkel's was his. And that this belongs to this tree here, this creature. But much like your boundary being a shared place, this one is shared as well. You get a sensation that I don't know if you've had before. You understand now, like a slight element to your this kind of odd primeval awareness that you have, this ranger sense to you understand a lot about nature. You have trained and studied the forest and a lot of the creatures that are in it. You have a favored enemy, which is what was your original favored enemy?
Orc and drow.
Orcs and drows. So you're pretty good at working out when orcs are gonna when there's an orc encampment nearby, or when the drow would come down from the mountains, or they would come up from where the mountains are and come out through the opening in the mountains, and they would often raid villages, caravans, Bame village. Same thing for the orcs, although they would roam the plains and hide in the forests and stuff like that. The way that you're able to track those things is through learned skills that you were trained in, but also, again, you took to it like a duck to water. When you learned these things, you just understood how to track things, how to survive, how to avoid them, what the tracking meant. You understand that this creature next to you, this tree, is known as a celestial. and you get a sixth sense about them. What you understand isn't that you for sure can't transform into a tree. You understand that there is an arcane element to this area. You already know a bunch of spells that rangers can learn that are similar to druidcraft that might give you bark skin and stuff like that, but you can't unlock this innate potential to transform into a tree or anything like that. You're not sure whether you ever had it. You're not sure if that even was your innate ability. It was this thing's ability is to be this kind of powerful sentient tree. Yours probably wasn't. But you do understand now that you have this ability to understand celestials in nature. You now get the sense that there are other celestials here. Some of the other trees around you are celestials. There seems to be a sense of an approaching creature in the sky that feels like a celestial. You get the sense that there are celestials that are as powerful as this tree, more powerful than the flying rider of the winds, Shaundakul, that you can sense approaching the area. There are others here that belong to this boundary, and it's a shared place, much like the way that you four share a boundary.
Sorry.
You do now have the ability. You took celestials as your other favored enemy, which means that you can hunt them and you can understand them and you can track them, and you're better at dealing with them in combat situations. You're better at understanding their weaknesses and their strengths and stuff like that. You understand that this place doesn't really belong to you, that ultimately you really have no influence or power over this place, so drawing energy from it is no different than drawing energy from any other forest, really. It doesn't nourish you in the same way that your own boundary does, but you definitely feel a kinship to this tree, feel a kinship to the other celestials here. The area is familiar in a strange way to you, but more just that you understand not just the forest, but the celestials in nature now. Your senses are opening to a degree. Your understanding of the scope of nature and these godlike creatures is expanded. This spectrum has expanded for you in this moment, or at least you're able to concentrate on it for this moment here and understand it. But I think even on a 9, nothing happens. You definitely understand. For the first time, you've sat and concentrated on this thing and tried to kind of hone this skill, and you understand it in a roundabout way, and however you want to perceive the mechanics of it, you can. But I think you also understand that you for sure can't turn into a tree. There's no willing it into existence, and whether that's because you traded it away or whether it was just because you don't have that innate ability or that wasn't what it was, I don't think you're too sure.
Okay, so I start making my way towards the hammock, and then I'll squat down and feel the ground, and I feel like it's like a vibration, and I can sense different vibrations from different places, and some are more strong than others, and somehow I just realized, like, oh, this is a vibration higher than me, so like a god, and just innately start to realize, like, I wouldn't say anything to them because it's new and I'm still kind of confused by it, but since I feel a kinship, I feel safe, so I'm not worried about it. So I'll just kind of stand up and make my way to the hammock and struggle to get in, and my horn will get caught in something again, but I like roll myself into it and then lay there kind of like, okay, I'm ready to go up.
Lifts you, yeah. The branches form into a kind of odd hammock, and then begins to lift you up to where the others are, and brings you back up into the canopy. The large tree creature that introduced itself as Lathander says,
"Perhaps you would like to rest."
The canopy closes where the sunlight was coming through, providing you with some shade.
Oh, look at that.
It says,
"It seems we do not have time to party."
Not quite, but there's always next spring, right?
There's always next spring.
The light kind of dims a little bit. You get the sensation that the tree is asleep.
I'll also fall asleep.
Stora,
Hmm?
are you sleeping?
Yeah, my eyes got heavy.
Oh, I just wondered if you had a moment.
Yeah. And I'll try to like roll over in the hammock to face her, but it's awkward.
Are you feeling badly about the clover?
I just want to know what it was. Like, Ellie's got a sweet dagger. And wait, do we know what Bose does, right?
Bo told us,
For
I
sure,
think,
yes. Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys
Okay.
would definitely understand that he now controls water everywhere
Yeah.
around him. Ellie's eye bleeds and she can just
Yeah.
take and mimic things. She seems to have an ability to attune to things and understand them and pass that information on to you. I think you get a decent idea that these are things that they've got. You know, probably you guys have had small talk that we haven't seen.
Bo can control water now, and like, don't you wonder what yours could have meant?
Oh, yes, all the time. What hidden power did we have? I do, but I just want to make sure you're not feeling too badly about it.
No,
No.
I
That future aura came in and said to take it, or we would lose. So whatever it was, it wasn't right for us.
that's true. And maybe something else will grow from it.
Right? You know, our identities are shaped by how we feel and what we decide and what we do. It's not like you gave up any part of you.
No,
Try not to feel too badly about it.
never I thought much about time, though. I would just play in the woods.
It's gonna make you a kick-ass gardener.
I mean, true. Maybe I could actually grow some things faster.
Yes, I imagine you will be able to. I mean, I hope so anyway.
I just wonder if there's going to be a normal after this, though.
Well, I should hope so. Well, what do you think you'll do after all this? Assuming we, do.
Well, honestly, how much time has passed?
Not much, like 10 minutes.
No, I mean like since this all started for us.
Well, time is wibbly wobbly since you got to Chiba's palace, but it's around a week, I think. Just
That's
a little
it?
over. Yeah, I think it's only a little
Okay.
over a week.
Oh, my
You've pretty much
lord.
been going and going and going. And most of the time, you had one evening in Dustvale, and you had like one evening, and then you went all the way through the thing. You had like one evening in Fame. You did, I think, 2 nights in Bologna, and then some travel in Dustvale, travel in here, travel in there. So I think it's about a week. I was following it, but I'm not going to work it out right now.
All right.
It's really only about a week though.
You know, like a week ago, it feels like we haven't been doing this very long, but like I was sitting on my porch thinking if Klex would ever ask me out, and hanging out with Alvin in the forest. That's as far as I got.
Well, sometimes. Why didn't you ever ask him out?
No, it's like when you grow up together and you're just getting that weird like tango of who's gonna
Yes.
make first
Who's
move.
gonna make the first move? But let me tell you what. You make the move, Aura.
What
or,
about
Or your opportunity might just pass by.
with Toby?
Nobody made a move.
So then if we get out of this, we both make a move?
All right, Aura. I'll take that challenge. Maybe.
Oh, it's a yes or no. Because I won't do it if you don't do it.
Oh, fine, all right. I'll do it if you do it. I mean,
Okay.
how hard can it be? Just,
It's kind of hard. I've tried.
It is kind of hard. I open my mouth. I find myself speechless around him sometimes. But yes, I will do it if you do it. We get out of here. We're going to make a move.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
get some rest and don't feel too badly about that clover. We're trying to save the world, and I think we made the right choice.
I think so too. It was wilting anyway, so it wasn't that strong to begin with.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't always end up that way. We sometimes feel like we're wilting too, don't we? And look at us
Or-
now.
At least right now we're safe and kind of feels like home a little bit to me.
Yeah. And but we're a little bit like plants too. They wilt a little bit. Just give them a little water and all's right. All you
It's
need
very
is just a
true.
little bit of change.
When she says that, I nod in agreement and I look over at Bo. Bo, thank you for the water before, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right,
Glad
sweet,
it wasn't a wet
sweet.
t-shirt kind of contest day, but I'm muttering
I-
to myself, by the way.
I hear Bo muttering and I can't help but smile and just close my eyes and start to drift off.
Sweet dreams, Zora.
Me too.
You guys rest here in this tree for a while. There really isn't a lot going on. The hammock and the tree doesn't seem to be moving much. You do notice as you're laying there looking up, if you don't sleep, that the branches are still moving, but much slower. They don't seem to be like tangling over each other constantly. The blue light at the center of the tree is still there, but it's very dim, as if the tree is sleeping. You see it pulse almost like a very slow heartbeat almost. The group here rests for about what feels probably only like maybe 20 minutes to half an hour. But each of you get the effects of a short rest. You can use hit die to get your HP back up, and your abilities that come back on a short rest, for example the portal gun, return to you. But after about 30 minutes something happens, so you will only get a short rest for now. So you can do short rest stuff if you want to do it. Just hit dice, rolling your hit die. You should have a full bag of hit die to use.
Do any spells come back besides the...
Ranger spell casting.
I think we're fucked.
Yeah, you regain all spells on a long rest. I think the only one that gets spells on a short rest is the Warlock.
Okay.
Did anybody take damage from the fight with the Brayer children?
I did.
No, but I'm afraid I blew my load.
Oh, okay. I would like to cast Song of Rest along with Nourishment.
Oh, yes. So, Song of Rest, first of all, means that you get, what do you get, an extra d6? Yeah, so anyone who rolled a hit dice there, you can roll another d6.
Yep.
For each
so you
one.
can replenish an HP.
Nourishment is an elementalist spell. When not in combat and near a source of natural water, all of your healing spells heal twice as much and at their maximum value. So it's not... hit dice and Song of Rest aren't really healing spells. That's cure wounds.
Really?
Yeah, that's cure wounds and healing word.
Oh.
So if you end up curing... For example, if you were to use cure wounds now...
Okay, and then use Nourishment with it. Okay.
Yeah. So
Alright.
you can, you know... you can heal outside of combat and stuff.
That's very badass, actually. I know we don't get to use it right now, but that's very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
I
might
will,
get
I will
to
do that
use
for
it
the next time. You'll live in
Soon enough.
mine.
There
Right.
is about 30 minutes pass when who's dozing or who's sleeping or anything here? What is who's doing what in their hammocks in the top of this tree?
Oh, I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
Same.
Sleeping.
I'm just, I guess, looking at the leaves moving and the branches moving.
Just
Yeah,
relaxing.
I'd say Ellie's doing the same.
Yeah.
Just like eyes open, looking around.
All right, you two give me perception checks. (16 and 9). Well, you only need a 5. because you hear a sound that's at first you maybe don't notice, but because you're so relaxed and you're so used to just hearing the sounds of nature around you, you suddenly hear a distant noise. And I will try and replicate what you hear now. You hear something like, and then something hits the water really hard. There is a splash of water as Shaundacole, the enormous bird-like goose creature, attempts to land and fails miserably, hits the water, like you are now woken up. Those of you that are woken up, there is a tidal wave of water that runs up the side of this tree and catches all of you in the things. The hammocks remain the same. The tree appears to remain asleep, but Shaundacole, this very large, and I'm gonna say goose now, because it's funnier. It's a giant celestial goose with a pulsing red chest. Lands in the water. You see these huge wings. He doesn't have arms, he just has wings like a wyvern, and these big legs stumbling through the water, kicking up more of it, that green algae going everywhere, splashing everything around you. As he stumbles forward, he kind of just falls over at the base of the tree and then attempts to stand up and looks up to where you are, and he's very, very large, and his huge neck, long neck like a giraffe, or like the Brachiosaurus in Jurassic Park, looks up towards where you guys are in the hammock, and this enormous beak and these giant eyes wide looking at you. He says,
What? Top of the morning to you. I don't do too much landing. More about flying, you know. Right. Hop on then. Let's go.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I landed in the water.
Does he look okay?
he looks fine, yeah. He's covered in water and algae, but so are you for now, so.
Oh, great. I just start picking off the algae off my shawl.
Come on, I'm late.
Right. Do we just jump off?
I guess, and I'll go first, and then I'll kind of pull myself out and try to jump down to him. And as I'm falling, I have this like deja vu moment when he says top of the morning, and like try to land on his back.
Yeah. Give me a acrobatics check.
God.
How
Please
far
don't
down?
roll
Wait,
a one.
I was going to say like I have like a horn get stuck in him. How far away was he, or how far down was he from us? Should have asked that first before I jumped.
His neck is like 20 feet long, but you can kind of like slide down it.
Okay.
If you want to try and do that. On a 23, you do whatever the hell you want.
I land on his neck very gracefully and not in a spot that would hurt him, and just kind of Shadow of the Colossus crawl down to his back.
Yeah.
Maybe just jump down. I'll call up to the rest of them.
All right. I'll just jump down.
I'm shaking my head. I'm petrified. It's a giant motherfucking goose.
Give me an acrobatics check soon.
I am moving.
15, you can pretty much
15.
do whatever you want to a degree as well. Not quite as flashy if you don't.
Oh, I'm an old woman. I just jump off. Nothing too exciting, but I'm probably chuckling or giggling as I fall down.
It's big. His feathers are huge. They don't seem like little feathers that you can pull out. They feel like giant palm leaves or something that you can use to kind of climb down the back of his neck. He doesn't seem to even be affected at all at you climbing down. Bo stays still. What are you doing, Ellie?
I'll probably walk up to Bo and I'm like, you know you have to leave, right?
You can't make me do it.
You should. Oh, come on. We'll do it at the same time. You want me to do a countdown? Usually it's easier if someone does a countdown, you know? On 3?
I'm looking down and I'm just like, okay, and I start grabbing onto Ellie for dear life.
Okay, but you can't grab me. What if I land on you or you land on me? We can want to hold hands? You want to hold my hand?
I extend my hand out to her, and she can probably already see that it's extremely clammy and moist. You sure you want to take this hand?
I don't really say anything about it. I make a note. Okay, on 3.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
You said on 3!
Nope, and I push him.
All right, yeah, give me a dex save.
Oh,
Bo.
Shit.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I mean, you're successful, but what do you do? What does it look like?
I'm fumbling as I'm falling. And I somehow managed to grab him. Well, some of the, I guess, feathers. And I'm just trying to climb up, but I'm doing it very hesitantly.
Yeah. What
And I'm
does,
just clinging on to my dear life.
What does Ellie do?
I'd say after he lands, wait, he didn't fall, did he? Did he?
No, well, he fell in the sense that you pushed him, but he was fine. He grabbed on and climbed.
Okay, I would just jump after him.
All right, give me an acrobatics check.
14.
Same thing. You just leap off, anime style.
I think as he does that, he kind of like doesn't let go, and it yanks Ellie down after him. So.
Yeah, and as soon as you're on, there is another kind of tremendous beat of the wings on this thing as suddenly you are lifted up, all of you gripping on for dear life as Shaundacol beats his wings. There's another rush of water from the spring nearby that lifts with the wind as Shaundacol suddenly takes flight. One huge, tremendous liftoff and woohoo! Flies up into the sky. The four of you holding on, you feel this huge form lift up into the sky, and as you guys disappear, there is a pulse from the tree as Lathander wakes up and says,
Now it's time to party. Oh, well, summer waits for no one.
And Shaundacol takes flight. You find yourselves once again flying through the air. The four of you holding on to the parts of Shaundacol that you're holding on to as the goose thing, the giant, humongous, enormous behemoth of a goose flies through the air. The enormous form of Shaundacol turns his head towards wherever you are, or on the back of his body, and says,
Well. So where? What why did you go there?
Oh, where? Go to the tree?
The tree.
Well, you dropped us off there, and we had to protect it from a bunch of Briar's children, and then we slept in hammocks in the tree.
What the heck's what's a Briar's children?
They're like weeds. They're these awful little clicky wood things that are made of twigs, and they're a nuisance.
everyone give me a strength saving throw as he shivers with all of you on his back.
Oh God.
18.
18, 9, and...
I'm going to use my thunderous presence.
Okay, yeah, you can
otherwise
use the
I'm getting wrecked here.
presence to give yourself advantage.
Oh,
An
thank
18,
you.
yeah.
Wise
Three
choice.
of he shivers, and three of you hold on. Bo just straight up lets go, and he's gone off the back of this thing.
Can I try to grab for him?
You're moving so fast. He shakes, and Bo disappears off the back of this thing, and is suddenly gone.
What?
Well, that sounds terrible.
We just, but Bo just fell. Could you go fly down and try to catch him?
And what the hecker is a bow?
Bo, it's the guy with the beard. The little guy with the beard.
What's a beard?
Our friend,
The guy with all the white on him.
Took our friend off of your back.
Boy with all the white on him, eh? Alright, we'll go back and get him. That's gonna make us even later than I already am.
There's
Why
a
can't we-
shift again as this huge thing turns around. Everyone give me another set of strength saves.
Oh, is probably screaming.
Will I get one too? I don't think so, because I'm not there.
No. You're just flying. You're falling without style. You're really high up, though. It's like being ejected from a plane. 5, 21, 17. 5, by the way, is what you need to do. Is the DC. It's really not hard to stay held on because it's just a reactionary thing. But Ellie, your body lifts up off of this thing as it banks and turns around. Bo, what are you doing? You're falling through the air as you let go of this thing. You're flying through the air. You see them all vanish. This thing just, again, it's like they're on a plane and you're left behind. You suddenly start falling towards the ground. There is no ground below you. You can just see clouds, but the wind starts rushing past your ears as you're falling. Your beard flowing up in front of your face. You do anything?
I'm probably I'm falling like I'm skydiving, but I'm not enjoying it. I'm just screaming like a wuss. And I just continue to scream.
You're tumbling over and over and over again. And during one of those tumbles, there's one of those moments where you turn, and then everything slow-mos as you turn over, and there's a set of just a beak opening up in front of you, a giant goose beak.
Oh God!
And then
Don't eat me!
It eats you. You are grabbed by Shondakol. The beak easily. His head is much bigger than you are. Grabs you in the beak.
Oh!
The Shondakol from your three's perspective turns around, flies quickly downwards. You see Bo, and then Bo is eaten by Shondakol.
I'm sorry. Did you just? I'm like poking him with my walking stick. Excuse me. Did you just?
If I just be in his mouth, maybe it'll feed my Bo.
Oh, you're gonna make him wiggle again if you keep doing that. I promise.
What about Bo? He just ate Bo.
You probably just got him in his. What is those animals that keep
Like a pelican.
Excuse me,
in their beak.
Bo.
I don't think you ate Bo. Bo wouldn't taste good anyway. Let's be real.
Oh, you're like inside of this thing's mouth. There's nothing more than just like a beak and a big tongue.
I don't like.
Yeah, there's a strange smell coming from up. This thing's kind of like there's a tunnel behind you basically, and you're sitting on a giant tongue inside of this beak. Every now and then you can kind of make out the voices of the others on the outside, and there's a very loud like as the thing is speaking, but with its mouth not open. What are you doing in there?
I'm holding on to his tongue for my dear life because that's the only thing I can feel in there.
You guys remain. This is how this goes for maybe 15 minutes. Shondakol is unable to speak, doesn't seem to want to open his beak, and continues to fly at a pretty high speed. The three of you sitting and holding on to the top of this thing. The wind blowing at you, you're forced to hold on quite tightly the entire way. You three do anything? Bo is holding on to a tongue, otherwise he's going to get swallowed.
I'm holding on.
Can I try, Shondakol? I'm gonna try to climb up your neck and help get Bo out of your mouth. Is there anything here? Turn your head to the left, if that's okay.
Can't you just turn your head all the way back and just let him out here where we are? I can't understand a thing he's saying. Maybe we should just wait till we get to summer or wherever.
Can I understand him?
Why?
You can understand Mumble?
I don't know if I can channel him because I have a new favorite enemy of Celestial. Can I somehow communicate with him telepathically?
I don't think so. Not that strong. This only gives you bonuses to favorite enemy. Means that you can track them. You can recall information about them with advantage. I think you can. You now speak Celestial, but he's not speaking Celestial. He seems to be speaking Common.
I didn't know if they could telecommunicate.
That's about it, really.
Okay.
It's not. You don't really get any, arcane abilities necessarily.
I think it's fine. We just have to wait till we land, and then I think he'll just spit him out.
All right. Well, I hope so. Listen here. If Bo single harm is heard on it, just I will be very upset. I'm going to assume that means that he's in there and all right, and you can. All right. Okay. All right.
Perhaps they can hear my faint screams from inside his mouth.
There's a muffled sound that sounds like it's coming from in the beak of Shondakol that maybe is Bo screaming.
Oh, well, I think that's Bo. I think I hear him. Oh, that's a relief.
I think we just
Not
have to
that he's
wait.
screaming, but all right.
15 minutes go by, you holding on to this thing when you once again feel Shondakol begin to descend. There is the sense of a shift in terrain underneath you. As you look down, there's no longer the swamp that you first saw, nor the forest that you lifted up from. The ocean is now everywhere. You see nothing but an expanse of sea and water as the giant celestial goose descends through the clouds. In the distance, you do see now what looks like maybe an island is what it looks like, but a big one. It's kind of hard to make out, but it doesn't look like it's an endless expanse of land. There's a huge beach that gives way to a few fields and then a forest, and at the center of the island you can see a huge kind of snowy mountain. The giant goose Shondakol descends downwards and says,
We can't understand you. You have our friend in your mouth.
The beach comes closer, and you see now it stretches out very far. Shondakol slows all the way down and says, and then opens his mouth. Oh, give me a dexterity saving throw, I guess. Wow, 17.
Indeed.
So what kind of a, you know, like when divers jump off the top board into the water?
Yes.
How do you do this but from the mouth of Shondakol
Oh God.
into the ocean?
Well, I kind of do like a tumble on his tongue, and then as I get to the tip and start falling, I'm like, I'm just in panic mode. I'm just like I'm karate chopping the air and just.
I mean, you dive into the water safely, so whatever that
Okay.
looks like, there's no horrible landing, but you are ejected from this thing. You spin through the air at the very last moment. Do you dive? Do you do like this?
I do.
You see
you know,
the water
at the very
coming
last moment, I decide to do a swan dive.
Yeah. You hit the water underneath. Shondakol's, he's moving pretty slowly. It's not like he ejects you from like 30,000 feet and you land. You're pretty close to it. It's a relatively soft landing into the water. You hit the water, but you are unbelievably at home the moment you hit that water. You can literally have the water stop around you, cushion your fall. You can bring it up to you. You can part it. You can have it create a watery armchair that lifts you safely onto the beach if you want. You have full command over water here, and you can kind of you can use that to your advantage. But as we see Bo hit the water at the last moment, a swan dive, maybe begins to swim very naturally through the water or pull himself through the water in some way. The three of you, Shondakol says,
Hey, tastes like, I don't know what he tastes like, but I don't like it. I'm not going to see you for a while, alright? I'll see you at the top of that mountain, okay?
Right.
turns sideways and says,
Jump!
Right. Oh, okay. And listen, I'm sorry about before, with the yelling, and I was just worried about my friend. Okay, thank you. Bye.
It's okay, I'm vegan.
Oh,
Be
how
safe.
lovely.
And I'll just tumble off.
All right.
Just jump off and.
See you later.
all four of you can jump off. and you guys feel the sense of Shaundakal. He flies up again. He flies up and away, but in the direction that you were coming from. He doesn't turn around or anything like that. You just see him disappear into the distance. Again, the area here, you're now on a huge beach, basically. There is the ocean behind you, which Bo is coming out of, and he probably looks in his head like that Daniel Craig, James Bond moment where he comes out of the sea and looks fantastic. But
oh, yes.
He looks like that in his head. But
I'm coming out of the water like Baywatch. Baby.
Yeah, he's doing a Baywatch run out of the water. And you guys look around, you see... first thing I think that maybe you notice, specifically the three of you that weren't in the ocean just a second ago, is that it's much warmer here. The sun is shining. There's nothing but clean sand around you. There's a blue ocean pretty much as far as the eye can see ahead of you. There is about... the beach runs in a very long... it's a huge beach, long distance, and runs for maybe a mile behind you. A very long beach.
Wow.
There's a huge amount of sand. At first, it might feel like you are back in Dustvale. It might feel like you're in a desert, but
Yes.
the sensation you get is more of a beach. It's a huge stretch of beach, basically. There is, beyond that beach, you can see, and you saw it from the sky, that it gives way eventually to these kind of fields. And it was a strange looking set of fields, wild and overgrown, but not like a forest necessarily, because it does give way to a forest that you can see from here. Again, you can see just at the edge of your vision the fields that break into a large, what looks like forest land. And then beyond that, there's that snowy mountaintop in the very far distance at the very edges of your vision. It looks pretty far away, a few miles away at least. You look around, there's a crab that scuttles across the sands in front of you. It stops underneath a palm tree. Where you're stood, there's a single lone palm tree directly ahead of you. It holds a claw up towards where you are, almost like a greeting, you think at first, and then it scuttles off. And starts heading towards the water a little ways towards where Bo is coming up towards you. And that is where we're going to end today's session.
Oh.
Welcome to summer.
Woohoo.
Each episode.
It's so good.
Did everyone bring their swimsuits?
I was very tempted to be like, Bo, for some reason, magically is in like a set of shorts, and all the lady anime characters are, just magically.
Fursuits gone.
Everyone's in like micro bikinis because this for some reason has become Bo's beach. Maybe if these were Bo's gods, that would have been the case. But unfortunately for Bo, you guys are just in whatever clothes you were wearing. There we go. You did spring. Congratulations. It's now time for summer.
That was wonderful. It was very scary at times too. I thought they were going to get when the thing went down to 1 HP, I was like, this is it. It's over.
It was close, yeah. It was close.
I'm traumatized.
The lose condition is not fun. I'm not going to tell you it. Because you're still in. All right, let's do a quick round of shout-outs, and then next week we will continue, and you can see what fun there is at the beach to be had. Let's start with the don't know how to not say a spoiler. Katie Pierce Place.
Okay.
The champion of spring.
Okay.
Today.
Hi, I'm Katie Peters Place. I played Aura for you today. I don't really know what to say about myself. I mean, now I'm curious about what this spoiler would have been. To find out next week, maybe?
I do it all the time. It's really hard to GM sometimes when you're like, because I've known all this stuff for the whole time. Sometimes I'm like, and then I'm like, that's just the end, Brad. Shut up. You know, like, oh God, why would It's really weird because it's just natural to me. Like I know it all. It's a really weird thing. Anyway, carry on.
It was like a
sorry.
teaser. It was like a, oh, whoops kind of thing.
It is weird. Like it
yeah.
happens a lot, and my brain by the end of these sessions is like sponge, and I'm like, rah, rah. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I won't say it.
Okay, well, I'm curious. So I guess I'll show up next Sunday to try to find out. And yeah, come hang out on my channel. It's Katie Peters Plays on Twitch, and talk to me on Twitter at PlayKatiePlay. And I hope you're all having a great day.
Hey.
Kind of rhymed.
You did. All right. What about Daniel Craig? Bobo in the being played by Daniel Craig in the Christopher Nolan version of this episode.
Hi, I'm DespiRx, and I played Bobo for you today. And you can find me here at Twitch at the same handle, DespiRx. And I play a lot of scary games, and I do roleplay on other games, like currently Red Dead Redemption 2, which has been a lot of fun. And yeah, so if you like those sort of things, come hang out. And thank you, everybody, for all the fun today. It was a great episode, as always.
I've just remembered, it's not summer next week.
Oh.
It's not summer next week. Because Pocket's not here next week. It's the 20... I couldn't remember the date. Next week is something else.
All right.
So, find out what that is. And go and question Pocket on where she's going next Sunday. She won't tell me. Which means it's got to be something real special. Yeah.
I'm going out of town, but I won't be able to make it to a computer in time.
Yeah, it's all good. I remember then I was like promising everyone that we're going to play summer next week, but we're not going to play in summer because I want all 4 of you to be present for every main episode of this. So I'm going to do a little something else. And I don't know what it is, so I'm not making any promises. So I'm just going to say, where can people find you in the week, Pocket? The question you're on why you're going out of town.
They can find me on twitch.tv/Pocket. I'm back to playing games now that I got most of my house preparation done. And I've been playing a lot of Terraria. So it's the first game I ever streamed 9 years ago, and I just never picked it up since then. And I was like, I feel like playing something I can get addicted to. Yeah. So I picked this one up.
Is it different?
So, it's a lot different than when it first came out. So
I've played it twice, and I've done the same 3 hours twice. You know what I mean? Like I did the same thing where I dug down and found like something, and then went wow, and then just never picked it back up.
It's like you keep like digging down, and you keep finding more and more like unique areas. Plus, I don't know, I just like things where you can go build and explore and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I really like those.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Head on over to Pocket's channel and just endlessly question her on where she's going next week. You don't have to answer Pocket, but that's what I'm gonna send them over to do. PB, where are you going next week?
Hello. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here. But I am Pumpkinberry, and I played Suna for you today. I just wanted to shout out to Speth, who gave us a very huge raid, and say hello to all the new folks there in the chat. Thanks for coming in. Sorry it was kind of towards the tail end there, but I hope you enjoyed it.
You can see Speth on
38?
Wednesday when Pumpkinberry streams Nocturne 2.
No, gone. Stop it. He does. Okay, so he does this every week on Wednesdays on Gone. Before I go live, he goes into the Tablestory channel and changes the title to some random Nocturne 2, you know,
Nocturne 2, the Clone Wars.
Yeah, exactly. And then I have to remember to go in and change it, because if I don't, we're going live. And he got me once. Every single episode he does this. Anyway, thank you for coming in. You can catch more Dying Order. If you liked what you saw, there's like 38 episodes, right? This was 38.
I think 37 this is.
There's 37? Well, there's a bunch more. So you can go to tablestory.tv/dying order if you want to check out more.
This was 38. All right, Piranha Plant, Jesus. He literally knows more than me. And I'm not kidding. He genuinely knows more about my own lore than I do, because my mind doesn't remember anything, and I've been running this setting for a long time. All right, so next week, I have I have 3 ideas in my head. I'm going to decide what we're going to do next week. There will be an episode. This is why we created the B team side questing stuff, but we can't go back to the B team.
We'll think of something cool.
So something's going to happen. I don't know what it will be. I have 3 ideas, and I'm going to sit and decide this week on what we'll do. So it will be another one of the kind of like flashback or flash sideways or alternate kind of mini one-shot stories that we'll run because I want to make sure that Pocket is here for the beach episode because I want to see what happens to a vampire at the beach. It's the name of the episode, regardless of what happens. Vampire at the beach. In 2 weeks we'll carry on with the main thing. Next week we'll do a little one-shot mess around thing, perfect for all you newcomers to watch.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
There you go. It'll be a sort of side quest. Yep.
Did you want to tell them about the facade and the other shows that we have?
Go on then.
Oh, okay.
I'll let you do it. You're really good at it.
Don't compliment me. It's weird.
You're a good presenter, and I'm the worst.
So speaking of presentation, if fantasy isn't your thing, we also have a horror show, Facade, on Fridays, which you can check out. That just started. I think it's only 5 or 6 episodes in. At least it feels like it. It's brand new. We also have a Harry Potter show on Tuesdays. And then you're probably familiar with Gone on Wednesdays, which is what Speth said. It's our sci-fi surreal thriller.
Yes.
Am I missing one? Oh, A State of Affairs ends. The finale.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's such a good show. It's so good. You should just go watch that one anyway. It's Jane Austen, lots of drama, lots of scandal. Oh, it's so good. It's very good.
All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you go and follow all of these people. And thanks for following the channel and watching our stuff. And we will continue with the beach anime episode. I was real tempted to just go really silly and do a beach anime episode like they always do in anime, right? And then I'm like, actually, no, I hate those episodes most of the time. It just seems like a funny trope, but then I'm like, but get back to the whatever's happening. So we'll see. And thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye.